Chamber of Commerce Day at Williams-Brice Stadium. 68 degrees, wind not a factor. And let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team, Marty Snyder.
Well, Tim, it's the first game for South Carolina without their star running back, Marcus Lattimore. Many of you have seen the injury 2 weeks ago against Tennessee. Officially a dislocated knee for Lattimore. It's the same injury Willis McGahee had in college. Now, doctors thought it would take 2 surgeries to fix everything. They got it all done in 1. And while he's not physically here, he is here in spirit. You see the name Harold Green coming down, the name Marcus Lattimore going up, recognizing him as South Carolina's all-time touchdown rushing leader. You know, talk to Coach Spurrier about it. He says Lattimore has a terrific spirit about things, and he said he would be hard-pressed to find a young man in this country that's been through all he's been through, Tim, and has a better attitude than Marcus Lattimore.
No question, he is a wonderful human being. And like so many that we've seen come through the SEC, likely has a future beyond Columbia. You look at the series history between these two now. They both joined the league in '92. Some of those meetings were as non-conference opponents. But lately, Arkansas has owned this series. While the Gamecocks have been dominant against their rivals within the Eastern Division, they've struggled some. And Tyler Wilson has had a lot to do with that in recent years. The Gamecock defense has struggled against the Razorbacks. There you see Adam Yates preparing to kick it off, number 8 for South Carolina, senior. And back deep is Nate Holmes, number 22 for the Razorbacks. Holmes decides to take a knee, and the ball will come out to the 25-yard line. That's where Arkansas will take over, 1st and 10. Well, he's passed for more than 10,000 yards, 38 touchdowns as we take a look at our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. What a remarkable career Tyler Wilson has had.
In very adverse circumstances, too, this year, Tim, with all the things going on with this Arkansas program. Remember, he lost 3 wide receivers to the NFL last year, and to be able to put the numbers up he has this year has been pretty impressive.
Dennis Johnson and Morgan Linton are the setbacks. On the rollout, Wilson's pass looks to be low and incomplete. As we take a look, it was intended for Mikel McKay. As we look at the rest of that Arkansas offense, Swanson is the leader at center, the junior from Kingswood, Texas. But this is a very young group up front. We touched on Hamilton at the top. Another guy to keep an eye on is Dennis Johnson. Very quick-footed running back, short, choppy steps. They'll use him a lot coming out of the backfield as a receiver. In fact, could be the second leading target, what with Chris Bragg, their top tight end and number 2 overall receiver, out of the lineup today with an injury. Ronnie Wingo is coming to the game. Out of the shotgun, Wilson with some pressure, and there's Hamilton. He has it at the 30 and should have the first down beyond the 35-yard line, an 11-yard gain.
You know, this is the bread and butter play. You're going to see a lot today. Kobe Hamilton coming across the field from right to left on your screen. And look at how South Carolina is looking him up right there. There was a perfect position to make the tackle, but it just didn't happen. And the reason for that is that Kobe Hamilton has great instinct coming across the football field. He feels those linebackers and safeties breaking on him and still finds a way to come down and make the play.
Well, you see that consecutive game streak, longest active, will remain intact after that completion. Johnson, as we mentioned, he can run with some power, low center of gravity, the senior from Texarkana, Arkansas. As we take a look at the South Carolina defense, Quarles is back. He missed a couple of games, got hurt in the LSU game. And Bowens, Jeffrey, and Wilson, he's the leading tackler, Shaq Wilson, for this defense. Hampton's a quality corner, but keep an eye on Swearinger moving from safety to cornerback for this game. A few changes made by defensive coordinator Lorenzo Ward with the back end of this South Carolina defense for today's game. There's the quick pitch. It goes to Nate Holmes. And he is rustled down at the 43-yard line. Keep an eye on that young man. They'll use him quite a bit today. Lyle Davis has been banged up. He was coming back from injury to play this season as well. Well documented what happened to this team at the outset of the year, and we've got an injured Razorback down at the 40. Excuse me, an injured Gamecock at the 40-yard line. We'll take a quick break and check. It looks to be Hampton, Victor Hampton, number 27, one of their leaders in the secondary. We'll be back. Trainers and athletic staff taking a look at the right hand of Victor Hampton, the sophomore from Darlington, South Carolina. They need as many of their veterans out there as possible in dealing with Kobe Hamilton, Steve, because he'll line up almost anywhere. No longer do they have the three-pronged pitch and catch attack that they had a season ago when they blew away South Carolina.
Exactly right. And they'll move him all over the place and put him in the slot, put him in motion. They'll create matchups to get him the football.
32, Jonathan Williams is in the backfield now, protecting for Wilson. Throws it to the wide side of the field to Johnson, stopped in his tracks at the 45 by Jimmy Legree. Lost his starting job at the corner when Swearinger moved over to that position now with Hampton out of the game. The junior from Beaufort, South Carolina, back in there.
I think they're going to be short on this, Timmy. The ball was thrown behind the receiver by Tyler Wilson. Really a bad throw, if you ask me. He was wide open in the flat. The ball hits him on the money. It's going to be an easy first down. But as a result, the tackle is made. I think he's going to be just short of the first down.
Well, no, they got a good mark.
Okay.
Don't be surprised, too, if Arkansas goes on fourth down with their season where it is at this stage. Here it is.
Well, you see how open Johnson is in the flat out there. That ball's a little bit high and behind him, and as a result, it gives the South Carolina defender a chance to come up and make the tackle. It's Jimmy Legree. If that ball's out in front of Dennis Johnson, there's no doubt about it. He's going to pick up the first down, but no harm done. New set of downs right here for Tyler Wilson and company.
Victor Hampton has re-entered the game now off that injury, so good news for South Carolina. Dennis Johnson, the lone setback. First and 10. Clowney pops through, and you can see the reaction from Wilson as he dumps it out to Mikel McKay. 13 catches on the season with a touchdown. We've got a flag down. Hampton coming over to make the tackle. Did you see the reaction from Wilson with number 7 pop free? Let's listen for this call here.
Holding offense, number 71. The penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. It remains first down.
Our referee is Ken Williamson.
Oh, sorry about that, Timmy. That was called on Jason Peacock, the left tackle right there, number 71. And you can see right there, you see the quickness. They tried to help Justin Peacock by lining the tight end up over to Davian Clowney, but the bottom line is he's seen everything. They look at it, it's pretty much a takedown, no doubt about it. Tyler Wilson saw number 7 coming clean and scared the heck out of him. I don't blame him.
He got some real happy feet when he saw number 7 pop free. After the penalty, the swing pass is out to Dennis Johnson. And he was knocked down at the 35-yard line. Swearinger, the first to get there. DJ went by Swearinger a year ago, and like so many of the modern-day athletes, decided to go with the heavy G with the pronunciation of his name this season. That always keeps us on our toes. Second and 21 coming up for Arkansas. Tyler Wilson, when we talked to him earlier in the week, had a lot of confidence about this matchup, and why wouldn't he, given what he's done against them? Johnson again. Swearinger makes the first contact. He is all over the place. Well, we touched on it, and in those last 3 meetings, no fewer than 33 points and whopping 300-plus yards the last 2 years offensively in the air.
Yeah, it's been really impressive to see the way they played against South Carolina. And quite honestly, Tim, I think it's really gotten under the skin of Steve Spurrier and this coaching staff. They don't like getting beat by anybody at all, much less 3 years in a row by the same team. They're really fired up about this football game.
Well, it cost them a trip to Atlanta. 3rd and 17. Wilson with plenty of time, and there's Hamilton. And his yards after catch are incredible. Run out of bounds all the way down inside the 25-yard line of South Carolina. We've got a flag down. 40-yard gain.
It truly is amazing, Tim, when you watch what Arkansas does week in and week out. It looks like Tyler Wilson's coming back. The penalty is going to be on Arkansas.
Well, with all that time, it could have been holding.
Illegal formation. Offense. 4 and 4 players lined up in the backfield. The penalty is 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat. 3rd down.
You see that call in the SEC more than any other conference in America.
Well, he said there more than 4 people lined up in the backfield. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. That's exactly right.
Yep.
There's too many people. One of these receivers on the outside has got to step up on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's just a lineup mistake.
And that's a big penalty, because as you saw, that was a 40-yard gain for Kobe Hamilton, and it continues to amaze me how this guy can get open like he does, and how Tyler Wilson can find him. He's the only guy that South Carolina wants to stop.
3rd down and 22. And by the way, just because you see that call more in this league doesn't mean it's not the proper call. I think it's missed by a lot of other crews. Wilson finally grabbed after some pressure, flushed from the pocket, and Chaz Sutton, number 90, makes the tackle, the junior from Savannah, Georgia.
Well, that ended up being a 50-plus yard penalty on that play, and unfortunately they lined up correctly that time in the right formation, but this time South Carolina was ready for it, and you saw the nice play closing on Tyler Wilson by Chaz Sutton to make the tackle.
Dylan Breeding is coming to the game to punt the ball away. Senior from Hoover, Alabama, and Ace Sanders, who is something special. 21 punts returned for an average of 16 per return for Ace. He'll very rarely call a fair catch, and this time he stopped immediately after making the grab at the 20-yard line. 41-yard boot, no return. Connor Shaw will come out for the head ball coach and try to muster some offense for the Gamecocks when we come back on this homecoming Saturday. You have to love the unique aspects of all SEC home sides. You see our score, 0-0, just underway first quarter. And South Carolina has the ball. Time now for our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. Connor Shaw, who was one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country early on in the season, tailed off just a bit and in fact was benched, but has come back and off that Tennessee game 2 weeks ago really earned Steve Spurrier's respect all over again. Junior from Flowery Branch, Georgia.
Well, I think he earned everybody's respect in that Tennessee game a couple weeks ago. SEC Offensive Player of the Week, 22 of 32 for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also ran for a touchdown, so hoping to capitalize and build on that today.
Yeah, second leading rusher for this team. Off the play fake in his own read approach, and they dump it off. And it's incomplete. Intended for Ellington as you look at the rest of the South Carolina offense. Up front, T.J. Johnson, the leader, senior from Anor, South Carolina. And at the skill positions, Sanders can go get them. But Ellington and Miles, keep an eye on Kenny Miles, the senior, taking over for Lattimore. This is a young man that can get it done, too. 6 receptions and does have 1 rushing touchdown on the season. Pass is caught by Justice Cunningham, the tight end, and he moves ahead to the 30-yard line, 3 yards shy of a first down. As you look at that defense, Chris Smith coming off a great performance, leading tackler against Tulsa in the non-conference win last week. Turner and Peters, these are freshmen, true freshmen, being forced into duty because of injuries to Highsmith, Wright, and Williams. And that 5-man back end with another freshman, Will Hines from Waco, Texas, at the corner. They have been banged up at that position. Kenny Miles will take it off the left side. He's got the first down and then some. Ahead to the 38-yard line. This is a young fellow that wanted to come back for his senior year. He's already gotten his degree. Coach Spurrier really happy to have him.
I literally asked Coach Spurrier to come back, and if he would allow him to come back for his 5th year. And I'll tell you, Steve Spurrier makes a lot of good decisions. That was a great one, because who would have foreseen what was going to happen? But knowing he's got Kenny Miles back there in the backfield, I think he feels very good about his backup for Marcus Lattimore.
There are 9 grad students on this South Carolina team. Out of the shotgun. It's Miles again, this time well read by Arkansas defensively. You saw Chris Smith come up very quickly. Loss of 3 on the play.
And we talked about, and we will talk about more in depth, the Marcus Lattimore loss. But how does it affect this ball club? We asked Connor Shaw. Basically, he said, well, all of us have to step up. Me as the quarterback, but I think every other player, not only just the running backs, but they've got some great tight ends on this football team. Justice Cunningham, Rory Busta Anderson. I expect to see them involved in the passing, and they've got to make up for that loss a lot of different ways.
A lot of school records by this South Carolina team in the last few years. Time running out, and Shaw dumping it for his tight end, Rory Busta Anderson, who had a touchdown catch a week ago. He had to get rid of that one a little sooner than he wanted. And that is Busta, not Buster.
Yeah, Busta. Yeah, and I'll tell you, that Busta, he's got 20 catches in his career at South Carolina. How many touchdowns do you think out of those 20 catches? 8 touchdowns. He's got 5 touchdowns on 12 catches this year. He knows how to find the end zone.
Third down and 13 for South Carolina. And they go empty in the backfield. A lot of twin tight end alignments for Steve Spurrier with this team. There's a floater, and that was a beautiful catch by Cunningham. Put where only he could catch it. What an athletic maneuver by this tight end. A 26-yard gain.
Well, this is a phenomenal catch. Not a great throw by Connor Shaw, but you can say he gave Justice Cunningham a chance to make a play on this ball. Incredible adjustment. And the safeties for Arkansas split, left the middle of the field wide open. A great job of seeing that and having the right route called. And then a super catch by Justice Cunningham.
Already a couple of catches for 34 yards for the big tight end. A pump fake. Shaw likes to throw on the rollout. That pass is airmailed. A little too high for Bruce Ellington.
Well, Connor Shaw needs to be careful here. This is the kind of hit you do not ever want to see your quarterback take. He rolls to his left, and you're going to see Colton Miles Nash. Boom. That was actually Otha Peters that made the hit on Connor Shaw. But when you've got a defensive player running full speed at your quarterback who's also on the move, that is a very exposed position for a quarterback. You got to be careful. That's a knockout shot if you're not careful.
Kenny Miles and Craig Gilchrist are now in the backfield. Plenty of time for Shaw. That pass is caught by Miles coming out of the backfield. First down at the 25-yard line of Arkansas. They're really picking on these young linebackers, aren't they?
Well, they had very good coverage up the field for Arkansas. Nowhere for Connor Shaw to go. But look at the protection. He had all kinds of time. And then all of a sudden, right out here in the flat, you see Kenny Miles was wide open. He just slipped out late. Made the nice catch, picked up the first down.
There's a lot to ask. We talked to Paul Haynes, the defensive coordinator from Arkansas. These are very coachable young men, A.J. Turner and Otha Peters. For Peters, the middle linebacker, it's his first ever start. Turner started 3 games, but this is trial and error by fire for them as Demir Bird takes it on the end around, set up at the slot. And that was well read by Ross Rasner, the senior from Waco, Texas, leading tackler for the Razorbacks with the stop.
Well, Ross Rasner, right here, you see him. He's going to come up and support Barrow. He's a safety full-time, but when they go to their nickel package, he comes and plays that nickel linebacker. Does a great job stringing out the play right there, keeping his hands free, and then is able to break up on the ball carrier, Kenny Miles, and make the tackle for a big loss. Good play for the Arkansas defense.
Mike Davis, number 28, is coming to the game for Kenny Miles. Just behind Connor Shaw. 2nd and 15. Over the middle, once again, the tight end touchdown. That's Jarrell Adams with the catch, number 89, the freshman from Pinewood, South Carolina.
Well, Jarrell Adams is the 3rd tight end, and all of these tight ends are very impressive when you watch. And I did get the impression, talking to Steve Spurrier yesterday, that he had a little twinkle in his eye talking about Jarrell Adams, thinking this kid is going to be something special. He's 6'6", 224 pounds. Obviously a very good athlete to get open down the middle of the field.
Adam Yates is in for the extra point. So Jarrell Adams on the receiving end. That's just his 4th reception of the season, his 1st touchdown. They are working taking over these freshman linebackers using the tight ends. 3 big catches by the tight ends, 1 for a TD. Connor Shaw is pumped, and the Gamecocks have the early advantage on homecoming Saturday.
Well, let's look at this. I want you to watch the safety. This is the second time they've had a big play. You got Rohan Gaines and Eric Bennett to get a little bit of width. But right here is Gerald Adams. He's going to run right down the middle of the field. But watch linebacker. You're going to watch linebacker A.J. Turner running down the middle. He should be running down the middle of the field. Right here, should be running down the middle of the field with Gerald Adams. He didn't do it. Did not carry him up the field. As a result, it's an easy throw and catch touchdown for South Carolina. That's the youth and experience of the linebackers for Arkansas, coupled with the fact that South Carolina's got the right kind of plays called taking advantage of that 2 deep coverage. They're calling them at the right time and making Arkansas pay.
When you have that many playmakers at tight end, why not line up in a twin tight end look as often as Spurrier does? Yates will kick it off. Nate Holmes is back deep. Sort of squib it, taken by an up back for the Razorbacks, and a nice move to the outside as Ronnie Wingo gets it out. And don't forget, the latest news, analysis, and predictions comes your way from Tony Barnhart, Bruce Feldman, and other CBS Sports experts. Watch College Football 360 live weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern or on demand at cbssports.com/collegefootball360. Well, Wingo gives the Hogs some quality field position at the 42-yard line off that squib kick. He returned it 26 yards. Williams and Johnson are in the backfield for Wilson. Hamilton in motion. Swings it out for Dennis Johnson. And DJ is stopped at the 44. Let's go back to the studio for a John Hancock update.
All right, Tim, thanks. Wisconsin has a new starting quarterback, Kurt Phillips. He finds Sam Arnson. Badgers up 14-0 at Indiana. With a win, they'd clinch the leaders' division berth in the Big Ten championship game. Back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you. As you look at the story with the Big Ten leaders, with Penn State and Ohio State ineligible, as well documented through the course of the year. And again, pressure, Clowney, as Wilson was just rolling right into the welcoming arms of number 7.
Well, there are not many people in the college football world. Watch right here. That's Jadeveon Clowney, top of your screen. He's got the ability to make Tyler Wilson read that play, and he read it as watch right here. He's going to crash down, and Tyler Wilson's read is if he crashes down, I keep the football. But Jadeveon Clowney is a good enough athlete to take away both. I would not run the read option at Jadeveon Clowney again today.
3rd and 13 for Wilson. On the check down, he goes underneath to his tight end, Austin Tate, number 87. Chris Gregg, as we mentioned, the second leading receiver on this team, out. And that's a big concern for them offensively because he's been a real go-to guy. And Wilson and the Razorbacks check out with that good field position. Got nothing done with it thanks to Jadeveon Clowney. Ace Sanders will be back around the 10-yard line of the Gamecocks as Dylan Breeding prepares to punt it away. Beautiful punt. Sanders from his 3. He averages 16 per return. Nifty feet, huh? I mean, you could argue that ball would have gone into the end zone, but he will always take a shot. And he gets it out to the 15-yard line. That's a 52-yard boot and a 12-yard return. He just won't say fair catch.
I tell you, that the rule is if the ball's inside the 10, you're supposed to let it go into the end zone. He caught that at the 3-yard line. I was about to say, huge mistake.
There's the kick. Holding receiving team, number 23. The penalty will be half a distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down.
Well, that will move them back even further. So some of that return is negated on the holding penalty against the receiving team. We'll be right back. South Carolina leads it 7-0. Tim Brando, Steve Berline, and Marty Snyder with you. Help the victims of disasters like Superstorm Sandy. Texting Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund, CBS Cares. Let's take a look at that last drive by South Carolina. Not once did a wide receiver catch one.
Well, we're starting to see a theme here for South Carolina. They're taking advantage of the middle of the field against the young linebackers right there. That was A.J. Turner. And then the pass in the flat to Kenny Miles for a big play. And then the dagger was again down the middle of the field to a big tight end, Gerald Adams, for the touchdown. Again, taking advantage of A.J. Turner and Otha Peters. Their inexperience as true freshmen. Look at that pass distribution. Tight ends very heavy today, kind of as we suspected coming into this ball game, and for good reason, because of the inexperience of those two linebackers inside, and also the willingness of Arkansas to play that 2 deep coverage.
Yeah. Connor Shaw will be in the shotgun in his end zone with Kenny Miles flanking him in the backfield. Miles dancing and prancing and finding his way beyond the 5 to the 7-yard line. He waited for a little move, did not get impatient with it, and managed about 4 or 5 yards. Jarrett Late, 39, the junior from Jinx, Oklahoma, making the stop. Linebacker for the Razorbacks.
Well, it's a good job by South Carolina getting the ball out of their own end zone. I was under the impression it was going to be half the distance on that penalty on the punt return, but they actually moved it back a full 10 yards, so South Carolina more of a challenge to get it out of there, but they did it on that first play.
2nd and 5. Wide receiver screen to Ellington. Ross Rasner ushers him out of bounds. 8-yard pickup.
Well, between Bruce Ellington and Ace Sanders and Demir Bird, there's 4 or 5 receivers that South Carolina is going to rotate in. And I think a lot of times, Tim, it's much more difficult to defend a team who's willing to spread the ball around like Connor Shaw does than focusing on one individual receiver like Comey Hamilton. They have to defend the whole field, know where everybody is at all times, and play it honestly as a defense.
They go with the I formation with Quay Gilchrist, the fullback, back in the game. Hole there. Miles pops free ahead to the 23-yard line. Let's get another update from Adam Zucker in New York. Interesting game when you consider that Miami is still in the hunt in the Coastal Division of the ACC. Thanks, Adam. Kenny Miles again dotting the I on 2nd and short for South Carolina. Nice time for a play fake. Shaw airing it for Ellington. Incomplete. Ball hung up just a little and gave the Razorbacks Rohan Gaines an opportunity to catch up and knock it away.
Well, Rohan Gaines, a redshirt freshman, did a great job covering some ground. And the key right there, you see how he turned his head back at the last minute. If he would have kept running through Bruce Ellington, if there was any contact at all, there would have been a pass interference, because you have to turn back and make a play on the ball. That was a good, sharp, experienced play by a player with relatively little experience. So I'm very impressed with how he got that head around.
3rd down and 3. Play clock winding down. They get it off just in time to Kenny Miles on the pitch, and this one was doomed from the start as the play clock was winding down, and Arkansas read it beautifully as they were running into the boundary. Byron Jones, 54, the junior from Junction City, Arkansas, with a stop.
Yeah, Byron Jones and Trey Flowers, number 86, did a great job stringing this play out and not creating any kind of a seam for Kenny Miles to cut back in. They controlled the line of scrimmage, got penetration, and as a result, a very good defensive play.
Tyler Hull will punt it away, averaging 39 yards per boot, and Nate Holmes, number 22, is back deep for Arkansas. Yeah, the special teams for South Carolina have at times been an adventure, and they've got a late substitution here. The play clock winding down on them. Just did get it off. High punt. Holmes called for a fair catch at the 31-yard line. 51-yard boot. Will Alabama go undefeated this season? That's our Facebook question. You can answer, well, only 2 ways, right? To vote, log on to facebook.com/SEC on CBS.
There's one of our the two-man booth up here between you and I, Tim, feels pretty strongly that first loss might be tonight.
Yeah, I think this afternoon on CBS. That's right, immediately after our game. I'm not alone, though. I've always felt that the SEC would have trouble having an undefeated team as its champion. Here's Dennis Johnson in the backfield on the play fake. Wilson looks to throw. Incomplete. He was going to Johnson, and we've got a marker down. Could have a roughing the passer penalty against Jadeveon Clowney here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 7. Penalty is 15 yards. Previous spot, automatic first down.
Well, we'll see exactly what he's guilty of here. Tyler Wilson doing a good job getting rid of the ball. That was fairly incidental. Was there contact? Yes. Did Tyler Wilson go down? Yes. But you could see Jadeveon Clowney was looking back at the ball. I don't even think he knew Tyler Wilson was there.
You got to give Tyler some credit, though, huh?
You got to give him some credit. I think the referee probably just saw the end result, which was the result of the contact.
Dennis Johnson carries off the left side. He's away for 3 yards. 2nd down and 7 coming up.
You know, one thing that Lorenzo Ward, defensive coordinator for South Carolina, told us, and he told us a lot of good stuff, but he really felt like the weak tackle position. There you see Lorenzo Ward, the weak tackle position, Jason Peacock and Bray Cook are guys that they were going to try and create matchup with Jadeveon Clowney on. They felt that they were really going to have their hands full, more so than normal, by trying to block Jadeveon Clowney.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter, and we'll return to Williams-Brice Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Our scores, we open the second quarter 7-0 South Carolina here in Columbia. Tim Brando, Steve Berline. Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, told us they were not at all satisfied with their play 2 weeks ago against Tennessee. It's clear in this open date week that they had last week, they've shaped things up with their defense.
Well, not only was Lorenzo Ward not happy with the performance against Tennessee a couple weeks ago, he was not happy with what has happened against Arkansas, specifically the last 3 years. He said their Arkansas quarterbacks have been carving his team up like a turkey, and he's sick of that. He didn't want it to happen anymore. He was going to change, become much more aggressive. The bye week came at the right time. He's moving his players around, giving some looks that he is sure that Arkansas has not seen before. A lot of those movement changes include Jadeveon Clowney and safety DJ Swearinger. Lorenzo Ward said they need to know where those two guys are all day, or they're going to be free all day.
Ronnie Wingo is coming to the game, and there's the quick pass to Mikel McKay. And McKay has it inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Well, Arkansas looking to move into South Carolina territory for the very first time, and has done so with the first down.
But Tim, I think it's very important for Tyler Wilson and this Arkansas offense to get something productive out of this drive, to make a statement to South Carolina that this is going to be a competitive ball game. It's only 7-0 right now, but Arkansas has not done much yet with the football.
Wilson is 6 for his last 6. This time it's Jonathan Williams, number 32, and he burrows inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Boy, how active has Jadeveon Clowney been?
Well, we're going to call that name a lot today, but you're going to see here initially that coming inside, that hard inside move to draw the holding penalty, and then right here playing both the run and the keep by the quarterback on the option, and then maybe not so good there with a little shoulder into Tyler Wilson for the roughing the passer penalty. But he's going to make his presence felt.
On 2nd and 4, that pass is caught by McKay, and he's inside the 15-yard line. Swearinger trips him up. Gamecocks gambled that time, and the Razorbacks made them pay.
Well, the true freshman, Mikel McKay, runs a nice quick out right here. Catches his 14th ball of the season, and a bad angle taken on the tackle.
Legree.
Jimmy Legree that offered up the big play down the sideline.
And Legree checks out of the game.
Well, that's what got him on the bench in the first place, I think. He was not performing to the right level.
Look at the Verizon red zone. Arkansas has scored a touchdown on 53% of their trips into the red zone. That ranks 9th in the SEC. Here's Johnson on the stretch play. And he's got it just inside the 10-yard line. Bryson Williams, number 12, makes the stop. It's a 5-yard gain.
Well, this Dennis Johnson kid is a pretty impressive guy when you look at him. Last week he ran for 109 yards versus Tulsa, coming off 161 yards against Ole Miss 2 weeks ago. He's the all-purpose yardage leader in the SEC, active right now with over 5,000 yards. He knows what to do with the football, especially down by the end zone.
Williams and Johnson in the backfield. And that's Johnson again ahead to the 5-yard line, about a yard shy, maybe a little more, of the first down. It'll be third down. Byron Gerardo, the freshman, number 70, making the stop.
You know, Timmy, one of the things that Lorenzo Ward kept harping on us about, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina, was he felt that despite the fact that the Arkansas offensive line has not given up many sacks this year, he felt that was a weakness of their offense, and that he might be able to exploit that in situations like this.
Well, one thing the Razorbacks have done in this series, they've run downhill. Johnson again and Morgan Linton in the backfield. And Dennis Johnson with some second effort, a little closer to the fourth, fumble the football. It's loose. And it appears that, Tyler Wilson was saying it should have been blown dead, but the indication is it's South Carolina football.
Well, my initial reaction is that Tyler Wilson might be right, but we're going to look at it a little closer. I don't know if his knee was down before the ball pops out.
No, it was not. Bowens with the recovery. You could see Johnson was on top of the defender.
It's going to be reviewed. The ground cannot cause a fumble. Remember that, Tim. Let's see what happened. He's got both hands on the ball. Did it pop out before the ball hit the ground? That's the question I want to have answered.
The Holloman, 21. Watch him now. He's making the stop here, 21. But if he's on the ground, Johnson's not. I think it's a fumble.
And you know what? I think you're right. That right hand came off the ball, and the ball never actually hits the ground until he lets it go.
Right.
See that right there? The left hand and the right hand together, if they would have pinned the ball on the ground, it would not have been a fumble. But I think that ball was definitely out.
Well, a big break for the Gamecocks as Arkansas was in scoring ground. And Mike Davis takes it up the right side, ahead for about 3. Second down and 7 coming up.
And those are killer turnovers. You finally got something going positive offensively. You're in the deep into the red zone, trying to convert a 3rd and short, and you come out of it with nothing.
He may have thought that he was on the ground. He may have, but he was not. Holloman was underneath it. Second down and 6. Davis, the lone setback, is stopped in his tracks right at the line of scrimmage by the Arkansas defense. Turner with the stop. Well, Monday, 2 broke girls find the sweetest thing possible in a candy store on a new episode. Monday, only CBS. Third down and 7 here for South Carolina. Davis, the lone setback. They're in the shotgun. Pressure off the left side, and Shaw is sacked back at the 3-yard line. That was A.J. Turner blitzing from the linebacker spot, and the freshman got to him.
Yeah, A.J. Turner just going to shoot the gap right through the guard-centered gap right there up the middle. Connor Shaw felt him, was able to slip away initially, but not able to break away totally. And what the support troops got there for Arkansas, it was not good news for Connor Shaw and company. He steps up. He's got a nice window there, but A.J. Turner did a great job hanging on that jersey.
Razorbacks defense does the job, and even with the turnover by Johnson, Arkansas should have quality field position, and they will if the ball rolls dead at midfield. 47-yard boot by Tyler Hull. The Razorbacks will have it right there when we come back. Let's see what the veteran Tyler Wilson has in store for us when we come back. To say it was a turbulent spring in Fayetteville would be an understatement, but that man, John L. Smith, the 19th head coach that South Carolina has faced. Arkansas, of course, now with him as their head coach, and Marty Snyder has more.
Well, Tim, he certainly had his hands full this year, and last year ended with such hope for Arkansas, and this year they were expected to be a top 10 team, but it spiraled out of control quickly. Actually, before the season began, when Bobby Petrino resigned due to some personal indiscretions, and then you see all the losses that just keep piling up for Arkansas. We asked John L. Smith, what do you play for at this point? He said, number one, pride. We cannot end the season like this, but number two, we feel like we can be a bowl team. We have to win 2 of these final 3 games, and Tim, these are against some tough teams: South Carolina, Mississippi State, and then LSU to close out the season. But the Arkansas Razorbacks think they can win at least 2 of those.
Let's not forget, Marty, that he helped get Bobby Petrino's career going. Bobby worked for him back in the day. He's been a head coach at Idaho, Utah State, Louisville, Michigan State, and of course Bobby took over for him when he left the Louisville Cardinals for that Michigan State job. Dennis Johnson is the lone setback as Arkansas sets up again in great field position. Wilson with plenty of time, and that pass is caught. The favorite target, Hamilton's got it at the 22-yard line.
Well, I continue to be amazed by how this tandem can hit play. You see right there in the slot, number 11, Kobe Hamilton, just going straight to the middle of the field. But the play action is what held the linebackers and opened up the middle of the field for Tyler Wilson to have a clear lane to make that throw and Kobe Hamilton to make the big catch. This is a guy that gets Rutgers, 10 catches, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Nate Holmes in the backfield. He takes the quick pitch towards the boundary and is rustled down in a hurry by Aldrich Fordham. Let's go back to New York. Adam Zucker with second down and 13 yards to go now for the Razorbacks. And they're going to take a timeout. Did not like the South Carolina defense against the formation they had. Paul Petrino, the offensive coordinator, thinking better of it, decides to talk about it. Razorbacks trying to rebound after that turnover inside the 5. Well, that should be fun. Really looking forward to that. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson will have the call for you immediately after our game.
That Johnny Manziel kid, he's something special. Johnny football.
This guy's played some too, hasn't he? Tyler Wilson, 8 straight completions. Let's see if he can keep this drive going. Underneath again. Number 15 or 19, Javante Herndon on the receiving end of that pass. Junior from Jacksonville, Florida. That's his 11th reception of the year. Does have 3 touchdown catches, and we've got an injured Gamecock. That's Akeem Auguste, number 3. Senior from Hollywood, Florida, and he'll hop off the field under his own power.
That was a pretty good collision at the end of that play. Akeem Auguste taking on Javante Herndon. Herndon had a full head of steam, knew exactly where to go, north and south, get up the field. You see right there, Akeem Auguste came in and put his head on the hip of Herndon.
Shaking out the cobwebs there.
Yes.
At the 6-yard line. First and goal for the Razorbacks. Wilson's last 3 completions have all been 20-plus yard completions. Johnson and Williams are in the backfield. On the bootleg, looking for Williams in the corner. Just ran out of terrain, and it's incomplete. Pretty good coverage by South Carolina's Bryson Williams, number 12.
Yeah, very good coverage and a smart throwaway by Tyler Wilson. You got first down, first and goal on the 6-yard line. The one thing you don't want to do is make a bad decision, throw an interception, or take a sack. Just get rid of it. You got second and goal at the 6. You're still in good position.
Hey, since the second quarter started, John L. Smith's team has turned this homecoming crowd into a berries and cream congregation.
This is a team that started 1-4 in the season. They won 3 of their last 4, playing some better football this year.
Second and goal. Wilson, he had his running back Johnson running a little shallow cross, incomplete.
Well, if there is a knock on Tyler Wilson. I do think that he does get a little bit careless with his accuracy. He's got these short throws to the running backs out of the backfield. When you watch the film, he misses some of these guys behind him every once in a while, and it's been pretty consistent. Up the field, I don't think there's any question about his strength or his accuracy.
Trip set to the top of your screen with Keon Hatcher up there. Dennis Johnson is the lone setback.
Kobe Hamilton right there.
Wilson right over the middle, and it's caught by Hatcher. Touchdown, Arkansas.
And I'll tell you what, Tyler Wilson took a shot from Jadeveon Clowney as he let go of that football. This is what makes this kid special, though. Watch him stand in there, totally exposed, make the throw, and take the shot from Jadeveon Clowney. Good throw right there for the big touchdown, Arkansas.
No way Bowens is going to stop that, huh?
No, Bowens, he was in good position again, but he just a little bit too late, a split second too late to make that break on the ball.
Zach Hocker with the extra point. Youngster from Russellville, Arkansas, knocks the game at 7. Razorbacks turn it over once, get it back, and make good on it. We're tied at 7. You see the 50-yard scoring drive. Hatcher with his first reception. It's for a touchdown. Youngster from Oklahoma. And let's take a look, Steve Berline, at our Home Depot tools for success.
Well, you remember the show, the A-Team, way back when? This is the Arkansas version of the H-Team. You got Kobe Hamilton with the first big play of this drive. Over the middle, nice catch right there. And then on the outside, you got Herndon with the big peg. He tucks and runs, gets it up there in the red zone, and then finished off the nice touchdown catch by Hatcher. Hamilton, Herndon, and Hatcher coming through for the Razorbacks. End result, touchdown, Arkansas.
Not bad for the freshman stepping in. Remember, Brandon Mitchell is out. He's serving a 4-game suspension and won't be back until the LSU game. That's Thanksgiving weekend, and you'll see that the Friday after Thanksgiving on CBS. But that youngster, you know, has to feel good. Well, the H-Team, huh? I pity the fool that had to cover him.
Yes, yeah. Exactly right.
Ellington is back deep.
Pity the fool.
Yeah. Zach Hocker will kick it off. That one will go all the way into the cheap seats. Let's take a look again at the courage of Tyler Wilson with a defender, and a good one bearing down on him.
Well, this is a guy that will wreak havoc for many more years to come. Look at that shot right in the chest of Tyler Wilson. He stands in there and makes the throw accurately for the big touchdown. Again, look at the speed of Jadeveon Clowney coming up there, and that's as solid as it gets when you're talking about a big man with a lot of speed, and you're totally exposed as a quarterback. But that's one thing that
first down.
Lorenzo Ward said. He said Tyler Wilson will stir pressure right in the face and deliver the ball.
Well, we had an offsides penalty on the kick, so because of that, the ball will be brought out to the 30-yard line rather than the 25 as this series gets underway for South Carolina. You know, we talked with Tyler, and we asked him about, you know, coming back and the disappointment of losing the games and all the issues this season. And he said, well, every game I play is on my resume tape for my future. And I'm an Arkansas kid. It matters to me what my legacy and what my teammates' legacies will be in my senior class.
And he took it a step further. He said every throw that he makes is on his resume. He takes it very personal, a lot of pride in it.
He gets it. He really does. Shaw under duress, and he dumps it out of bounds outside the tackle box as he was pressured by Austin Flynn. And it'll be 2nd and 10 coming up.
Well, a lot of times being a good, productive quarterback does not involve making a great throw. It means making a smart throw. Right there, Tyler Wilson feeling pressure, having the presence to say it's not going to happen on this play. Going to throw the football away.
Steve said to us, got to get the ball out.
That's exactly right.
Get her out of there.
And I meant Connor Shaw, not Tyler Wilson. Arkansas has the ball. Carolina has the ball.
Kenny Miles pops outside, and he's ahead to the 35-yard line. Stopped by Avon McKinney, number 13. These are corners, many of them that are very young. Tevin Mitchell's only a sophomore. He's one of their better ones, number 8. And McKinney is another youngster, a freshman out of Forest City, Arkansas. 3rd down and 4 coming up. We already mentioned Will Hines pressing into a starting role as well at the other cornerback spot. This is a very big 3rd down for South Carolina. Their defense has been on the field a long time. And there's a fade for Ellington, and he's got it set free. And a nice tackle by McKinney to save the touchdown inside the 30-yard line. We've got a flag down. Could have a personal foul to tack on to it here.
It looks like roughing the passer again. This time the other way, though. Connor Shaw did a great job identifying the blitz and making the big play on the outside.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 57. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Come in to run. 1st down.
But Jared Green is the one guilty of the personal foul, coming around, looping. You know what? Again, not malicious, but he had a chance to pull up and avoid the hit. He finished it. That's going to add 15 yards onto the play, or half the distance to the goal line. What a great throw. Identification from Connor Shaw. He saw full all-out blitz, knew he was protected, had the great matchup outside Ellington, made the nice throw. It's a big game.
Marked the ball at the 14-yard line. Kenny Miles is the lone setback. Miles will take it. Finds his way to the 11-yard line. Pickup of 3. Byron Jones the stop. Gamecocks can get a 1st down at the 4-yard line of Arkansas. 6:40 and counting remaining in the opening half.
Well, it's a pretty good team in the red zone, South Carolina. 69% of the time they come away with touchdowns. Anything over 60% is pretty acceptable.
Now, before that 36-yard gain, South Carolina had been stuck. They'd only gained 14 yards after the opening drive. So that was a huge pass play to Ellington. Out of the shotgun. Not a designed run, but a good opportunity for him to tuck it and run, and he gets it down to about the 10. Gain of just a yard. They closed quickly that hole thanks to Otha Peters.
Yeah, I think Connor Shaw thought there was more to it there than what he actually got out of it. He picked up about 3 or 4 yards, but I think he thought there was more. He tucks it and goes. He's not afraid to do it, but be careful, Connor Shaw. You go head first in there against 3 defenders. The numbers are not in your favor.
Again, they can get a 1st down at the 4-yard line. Ellington is down at the bottom of your screen. Sean, this looked to be a design run, didn't it? He's going to take it in. Touchdown. Well, that was well designed, really.
You know what? I did not think they had a chance with that play because it was good pressure initially at the field. But Connor Shaw shows his athletic ability. A nice block by Kenny Miles. Pops Connor Shaw to the outside. He gets inside that pylon for a touchdown. Good athletic play by the quarterback.
That's Steve's son, Steve Spurrier Jr. there chatting with Connor Shaw. Adam Yates will come in for the extra point. Out of the hold is Seth Strickland. And the kick is good. 2 huge 3rd down conversions on this drive. The Ellington catch on 3rd and 4. And then the Shaw run. He found the daylight. So some surprises taking place on what could be a shakedown Saturday in college football. Once you get to November, look out. These kids are between 18 and 21 as you look at our scoring drive. 6 plays, 70 yards, and those big 3rd down conversions. Shaw taking it in from 10 yards out to end it.
Good answer drive by South Carolina. I think the enthusiasm that Arkansas had for scoring to tie the game at 7 needed to be answered by South Carolina to get this crowd back into it. And by the looks of it right now, this crowd is back rejuvenated, re-energized. That's what South Carolina needed.
You got to remember, just about 3 weeks ago, you could have made an argument that South Carolina was the hottest team in the college game. And then they went on that murderous schedule of theirs after beating Georgia here to Baton Rouge. Lost a nail-biter off really one of those unfortunate turnovers by Connor Shaw. Eric Reed picked him off, and then they followed that up with 3 quick turnovers and a blowout loss to Florida. That schedule finally caught up to them. And now Steve Spurrier is trying to remind his team, hey, you're 8th in the BCS. You can still play in a very big bowl game. A lot to play for. That one is squibbed all the way through the end zone for the touchback, and they'll come out to the 25-yard line. Tuesday on CBS. It's a crime so big, the law and the mob will join forces. A can't-miss episode of TV's #1 new show, Vegas. Tuesday, only CBS. I've always been a Quaid fan, but Michael Chiklis is outstanding in that show, too.
Very entertaining.
Yes, it is.
Very entertaining.
Ball at the 25-yard line for Tyler Wilson and company. Let's see if they can have a return to sender here on this series. Dennis Johnson is the lone setback. To the back shoulder and a beauty to Hamilton. That is textbook. Right in front of the defender, Victor Hampton.
I really don't know how this ball got in there by Victor Hampton. Kobe Hamilton just runs straight up the field. He and Tyler Wilson are on such good chemistry right there. I mean, that ball almost hits Victor Hampton, but Kobe Hamilton knew exactly where to expect that football. Tyler Wilson on the money. Big play.
Talk about getting it out quickly. He did that time. The pump fake and a beauty. And on the long crossing pattern, Julian Horton has it at the 20-yard line. And just like that, the Razorbacks are a half-yard outside the red zone.
2 plays. Let's see if he actually gets the hands underneath the football.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got it cradled in there. Saw a little bit of football at the bottom, but I think he had control of it. That right hand.
And now they're ruling it incomplete. Said the cone of the football got to the ground, and that's what you always look for.
The previous play is under further review.
As it should be.
That's interesting because at first it appeared as though they ruled it complete. Now it would appear that the ruling on the field is that it's incomplete.
Well,
so we're going back the other way.
Horton was wide open, and not a great throw from Tyler Wilson here. Let's see if he gets those hands underneath it. The right hand, I believe, always stays under the football.
Right there, it looks good.
It looks pretty good. It's just hard to tell where that cone of the football is now. Again, as always, Tim, it's got to be obvious.
Yeah, but here's the issue. One official signaled catch. The other said, I'm wondering what the ruling on the field is because it's got to be irrefutable evidence.
Right.
But you have to know what the call on the field is, and I saw 2 different calls.
There were 2 different calls, but I think the referee, Ken Williamson, announced that the play has been ruled incomplete.
Okay.
That's the official ruling as it stands. So unless there's obvious proof that it's indisputable that catch was made, they will not overturn that. And I don't know if there's enough evidence there to show that for a fact.
Yeah. It looked like a catch to me.
In my opinion, it was a catch. Yes, I do believe that right hand was under the football, and it was not being bobbled. He had complete control of it. Let's look and see if we can blow it up here right at the very bottom.
See, his hand is underneath it, cupped. And,
you can see the ball right there. Oh, excuse me.
Yep. Did the cone of the ball touch the ground? That's what they're looking at.
Yeah, it's got to be clear, though. That's the only problem.
Yeah.
I do think it was a catch.
One of the things, though, that I will say, all along I felt that the college rule was better, that the White Hat surrenders control in this instance to the booth and lets the replay official take over, because so oftentimes at the next level it's very difficult for the White Hat, who's emotionally tied to the call, to say that, oh, by the way, we're going to reverse it.
Exactly.
I've always loved the college approach. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not without fault. It's got its share of problems as well.
Well, they're taking a lot of time,
which generally means reversal.
Well, it could be interpreted that way for sure.
The ruling on the field is incomplete, officially.
We're going to look at it one more time.
Watch the right hand underneath it. There is a shadow that makes it difficult. It obscures to some extent the view that we have. That being said, it appeared that Horton did everything he could to cradle the football. If it is reversed, then the ball will be at the 20-yard line. If not, we'll go way back to the 44. So a very significant decision here. Ken Williamson will give us.
After further review, the pass was caught by the receiver. Therefore, it will be 1st and 10 for Arkansas on the 21-yard line.
Well, we are 1 for 1 today.
Well, and that's better than my normal percentage. But it looked to me that it was a catch for sure, and I'm glad the right call was made. It was very difficult to make the accurate call, but they spent the time. I think the result was correct.
So 1st down, just outside the 20. McKay goes up to the top of your screen.
Kobe Hamilton right there at the bottom, one-on-one.
And it's McKay up at the top. He's down at the 15. Great cut. Now he goes outside and is down at the 3-yard line. Nifty move to get past Bryson Williams, number 12, the free safety. 18-yard pickup.
And as nifty as the move was, that's how poor the tackling was by Victor Hampton on the outside. We've seen a lot of open field misses by South Carolina defenders today on the outside. And right there, Victor Hampton had a chance to make that tackle for about an 8 to 10-yard gain as opposed to an 18-yard gain.
Wilson has 156 yards in the air in this quarter alone. Linton and Johnson, the running backs. And Dennis Johnson is stopped behind the line of scrimmage this time, closer to the 4, although I think they'll mark his forward progress ahead to about the 3, so no gain. 2nd and goal coming up. Holloman comes up to make the stop. Devontae Holloman been very active in this game.
Well, if there is a weakness on this Arkansas team, that they have not been as efficient in the red zone, scoring only 53% of the time coming away with a touchdown in the red zone.
I think that's because they don't have Cragg. That's because they've lost, obviously, so many of those other outstanding receivers they had a season ago.
No doubt. They're shorthanded.
Johnson, the lone setback. Play fake, and that pass is going to be airmailed incomplete. He was looking for Alex Volsky, the tight end, reserve tight end, freshman from Longview, Texas, and Wilson took a shot and comes up limping.
That is one tough dude. He did take a shot right there. He's hurting, trying to find a way to keep himself out there. He takes the bootleg, and you just see immediate penetration right there from Devin Taylor.
Yeah, it looked like his right knee gave out a little bit as he was trying to get that ball past Taylor. He's on a leg and a half here, limping up to the line of scrimmage.
A timeout would not be a bad call to make sure your quarterback. This is a big play in the ball game.
3rd and goal. I think they want a timeout. Yeah, the coaches were running onto the field to say, stop the clock. We need to talk about it. Good call, partner. John L. says, let's talk. 14-7 our score. Last time they were in this kind of position and it was 3rd and goal, it didn't go so well.
Yeah, and Dennis Johnson did not take care of the football. He's trying to stretch it for the extra yard to get the 1st down, and ball pops out. John L. Smith would do anything to have just 3 points on that last drive. Just didn't work out.
Well, they did convert after the punt from South Carolina and get a touchdown. What do you expect here?
Well, here, 3rd and 3, this is a very tough situation. I think if you're running the football, the only one run you can do is a draw play to try and sell pass, soften up that defense. But I think Kobe Hamilton's probably going to be a good bet right there at the top of your screen. That one-on-one coverage, maybe a fade to him.
Put it where only he can catch it, right?
He is your playmaker. He's your number 1 guy, and he steps up more than he doesn't.
There he is. Pass is incomplete. They went with a slant, and it was knocked away. Beautifully done by Akeem Auguste, number 3.
Great job breaking in there by Akeem Auguste, but I think the ball was a little bit late by Tyler Wilson. There's a little bit of contact, good physical play by Akeem Auguste, but Tyler Wilson, you see, he took 3 or 4 to that extra little shuffle on the outside, and I think that is what made that throw a little bit late. Kobe Hamilton had a chance a split second earlier.
Hocker, who has been outstanding from 20 yards away, boots it through. He is tops among active SEC place kickers. 76% his success rate. It's 14-10. Monday on CBS, breaking up is never easy, especially when your partner can't take a hint. Catch a new How I Met Your Mother Monday, only CBS. Our score here at Williams-Brice Stadium, 14-10 as you look at the scoring drive, 72 yards, a couple of minutes off the clock, a huge hookup to Horton to help set it up with a reversal on an incomplete call, and the Razorbacks were able to get 3 out of it. Hocker will now kick it away as you look at Wilson tending to, looks as if he's got a little blood on that right knee too.
Yeah, he's got it taped up, protected for some reason. Anyway, probably a pre-existing. I mean, these guys take a beating week in and week out, especially in the SEC. And
spoken by a man that's had how many surgeries?
Only about 20 or so.
And another one yet to come, right?
One more yet to come eventually, yeah. I don't like to talk about those issues. Brings back bad memories.
I know.
I can identify what he's going through. Let's put it that way.
Let's just say this part of the country was good to you. Just about an hour away, you made All-Pro with the Carolina Panthers. That kick is going to go through the end zone. And the Gamecocks will have it at the 25-yard line. Well, coming up, the Geico halftime report. Adam Zucker and Spencer Tillman will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights. And a number of potential upsets are in the making as we speak. And they'll have a preview of number 1, Alabama, hosting Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel, and the 15th-ranked Aggies of Texas A&M. That's all coming up on the Geico halftime report. Connor Shaw leads his Gamecocks out with 3:28 remaining in the half. Very entertaining game to this point. Both teams have had their moments.
Well, we felt that Arkansas was coming into this game ready to play. I really believe it's going to go down to the final minutes of the ball game.
Gilchrist and Miles are the setbacks. Shaw gets away from initial pressure and checks it down to Miles for a gain of a couple of yards, and that's about it. As you look at the day for Connor Shaw so far.
Well, mostly good for Connor Shaw. He's the big touchdown early in the game to Gerald Adams. Put him up 7-0. Then the big completion outside to Bruce Ellington, setting up this 14-yard touchdown run by the man himself, Connor Shaw.
Pick up a 4 on that last play, so it's 2nd and 6. Shaw goes with a screen, this time to Miles. Well set up. Kenny Miles gets it into Arkansas territory. Knocked out of bounds at the 47 by Eric Bennett, the junior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. 24-yard pickup.
Very well set up. The key block by Ronald Patrick, the guard, gets out there in front, knocks his man down. That pops Kenny Miles down the sideline. Very good play call at the right time and executed to perfection by South Carolina.
44 receiving yards for Miles. Again, very patient, waiting for that hole to open up. Solid back, taking it down to the 40-yard line. And he may not possess everything Marcus Lattimore has, but he's an accomplished back with a likely future ahead of him.
Well, and his experience has prepared him for this opportunity as well. Probably one of the motivators for coming back. Not that Marcus Lattimore getting hurt was something he wanted, but he wanted to contribute. He's getting his opportunity, and he's ready for the challenge.
Shaw, flush from the pocket. Needs some help. Uses that speed and athleticism of him to catch the corner. Chris Smith was providing the pressure, but again, Shaw able to get about 4 yards out of it when a lot of guys would probably be sacked.
I know I would have been sacked, for sure.
This is what they're missing. Look at the numbers on Lattimore. But again, not only that, but the mental edge. He's such a leader for your football team, too.
Well, the reverence with which people speak about him is unlike anything I've heard anywhere. He means so much to South Carolina, this whole state, much less his program. And the way that he carries himself is something that they're all very proud of.
On 3rd and 6, Shaw decides to take a timeout. Yeah, I've never seen both teams show the kind of love and affection for a fallen player as Tennessee and South Carolina did. 14-10 our score with 1:43 remaining. Very important 3rd down coming up. South Carolina 4-4 on 3rd downs on its 2 scoring drives. So once they got it going and got in rhythm, they were fine. You're looking at Yates, who's kicked a 51-yarder. That's his longest. But they've only tried 10 times this year. This is not a team that settles for many field goals. Head ball coach usually likes to get 6.
Head ball coach has been known to be fairly aggressive.
Yes. Really had a great time talking with Steve yesterday. Always one of my favorites. Has 6 overall conference championships. If he wins one more, he separates himself from a number of other legends in this league. If he can win another conference title, I think that's the #1 goal here first, is to win an SEC. He's gotten them to the title game once. He would love to get one more championship before he calls it a career. 3rd and 6. That pass is a little low for Ace Sanders. And I'm sure Connor Shaw would love to have that one back.
Yeah, you know, he's athletic. He normally is pretty darn accurate on the run.
It came off quickly, but I think Steve might send him back out there.
It looks like they might do it. I think Steve Spurrier's, that's what his instinct is telling him to do.
At this stage, you don't want to give Tyler Wilson the ball back before the half.
You got a minute 39 left.
This is a very important part of this game here, because if they don't get the first down and you give Wilson a relatively short field, look out.
Well, you're going to give him the relatively short field if you don't get it, but that shows his confidence that he does have in Lorenzo Ward in that defense.
Shaw throwing for a wide open Ellington. Yeah, the head ball coach had a good idea. Touchdown. When you have that many freshmen in your secondary, why not take a shot on 4th down?
Yeah, and what a great call. Good job by Connor Shaw stepping up on that. Look how open Bruce Ellington was down the sideline. There was something that Steve Spurrier and his staff saw during the course of the week where they expected to get a very favorable opportunity to score on that play.
Well, what you did see at the end of that play was number 9, the freshman Will Hines, beaten. This is a patchwork secondary. We touched on it at the top of the game. Steve Spurrier decided it was worth the chance. Why not? Connor Shaw, very efficient, and the old point guard did the rest. Shaw to Ellington, a pivotal play and an 11-point lead. Six plays, 75 yards, 1:58 on the clock, and again, a busted coverage by this young Arkansas secondary, Steve.
Well, a lot of people are going to think it might be the corner that messed up, but I think right here you're going to see the safety, Rohan Gaines. Watch as the route gets going. He's responsible for the whole bottom half of the field. He turns his shoulders inside right there. He's stuck. He's given up this whole area outside. He cannot break on a football to the outside. His responsibility is to slow play between the two receivers so he can make a break on both balls. Once he commits one way or the other, it's over. And he committed inside. Connor Shaw made it pay on the outside. Nothing fancy in the design of that route. Just a good heads-up play by Connor Shaw.
Spurrier already had in his mind he was going. The thing I remember most about that series is Shaw, after really a poor pass on the rollout, he's ready to come to the sideline and call it a day. Steve's like, wait a minute, get back out there. I got a ball play here for you.
And there's nothing that increases a quarterback's confidence than a coach that says, you know what, forget about it, get back out there, we're going to make a play right now. 4th and 6, I know you can do it.
Both the quarterbacks on pace for 350-yard plus performances. Nate Holmes is back deep. Adam Yates to kick it away. Yates will take it. And is ahead to the 18-yard line. Don't forget, tomorrow, regional coverage, the NFL on CBS. Most of you will see Denver and Carolina, Oakland, Baltimore, Tennessee, Miami. And then at 4:05 Eastern Time, many will see the Jets and Seattle. And it all begins with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest.com. JB in the game. Well, still plenty of time for Tyler Wilson to work some of his own magic with the ball at the 17-yard line. 3 wide receiver set. That ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. One of those big mitts got up there. It looked to be maybe Sutton 90. They are something. Think about it. Devin Taylor is all of 6'8", 265. Jadeveon Clowney, a very athletic 6'6". Kelsey Quarles and Sutton and those guys are also above 6'4", 6'5". A lot of height in that forward wall. Well, that's a beautiful call. Dennis Johnson on the draw. Those short, choppy steps I was talking about. Out to the nearly the 40-yard line. And the first down.
Well, the balance right there. I mean, I think everybody in the stadium felt like the tackle was already made by DJ Swearinger, but it just ended up propelling him to another 10 yards.
22-yard gain. Clock moving, though. And stopping after the first down. Arkansas does have a timeout left. And they'll go to the tight end Tate on the crossing pattern, and he's ahead into South Carolina territory at the 45. Auguste with the stop, a 15-yard gain.
Wow, that's pretty quick. Trip into South Carolina territory. 2 plays again, and Arkansas is almost getting themselves into scoring range here.
Now you know why Spurrier went on 4th down. Wilson flushed from the pocket, decides to dump it incomplete. Demetrius Wilson, number 81, the junior, the intended receiver. You have to give it to Tyler Wilson. He's out there on a leg and a half. No one's been hit more than he has. Even Tulsa got to him a number of times last week. And you see the numbers, as we mentioned, both on pace for 350-yard plus performances.
You know what Tyler Wilson does, though? He avoids the sack. When he's under pressure, he finds a way to get that ball out of there, throws it away if he has to.
2nd and 10. Underneath, that pass thrown behind Johnson. It's one of those that you talked about earlier. Occasionally, just not where you want the ball thrown.
Yeah, that would be my only knock. Sometimes on those short balls with the moving wide receiver or running back out of the backfield, he has a tendency to kind of aim it a little bit, I think, instead of just trusting himself and putting it right on that guy.
Crowd getting into it on 3rd down and 10. Haven't heard from Kobe Hamilton lately, have we? Wilson under duress and sacked back at the 50. That's a loss of 5 and 4th down coming up. Aldrich Fordham got there, number 57.
Well, I was watching Jadeveon Clowney at the right-hand side of your screen right there. He gets hit by about 4 guys on this play trying to get in to Tyler Wilson, but the pressure was coming from other way. Watch right at the right-hand side. Just watch 1, 2 people hit Jadeveon Clowney, then he gets cleaned up there at the end. Those Arkansas players have been coached up all week. If you get a shot at number 7, take it, because he will take our quarterback's head off if you don't.
Wilson remains on the field on 4th down. And you see the clock winding down. We may just take a 5-yard penalty here. Or wait for the half to come to an end.
That's the other alternative.
That's the other half.
Did Arkansas take a timeout? I think they may have before the clock ran out completely. I think they may have done that so they could throw a Hail Mary.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what they did. They wanted to wait and just heave one to the end zone with Wilson's big arm. Why not take a shot?
Right. And you're probably right about the extent of the range for most quarterbacks at this point. It'll be about a 55 to 60-yard throw to get it to the end zone.
You're right on that last play. Clowney provided the flush, and then Chaz Sutton hit him And then Fordham polished up on Wilson.
You know what it does? Having the talent and the well-earned reputation that Davian Clowney does have, those offensive players are so aware of him and so coached up to be looking for a shot at him that it opens up opportunities for everybody else.
Well, let's see if South Carolina's secondary knows how to handle keeping people in front of them. And then if it becomes a tip ball situation, knocks it down. Again, more pressure and yet another sack. Sutton gets through again. Big number 90, the junior from Savannah. And that will do it for the first half. The big play of the first half coming on the 4th down call by the head ball coach, finding a wide open Bruce Ellington for a touchdown to extend the lead from 4 to 11. And let's go down to Marty Snyder, who's got Steve Spurrier.
Well, Steve, 4th and 6 from the 50. Is that exactly how you drew it up? And how much confidence that give the guys?
Oh, I don't know. We've only had 5 possessions. Fortunately, we scored 3 of them. Made a bunch of third downs. Arkansas is playing well, and we've hung on defensively to hold them to 10. But we got to play a lot better in a lot of areas if we're going to end up winning this thing.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
Tim?
Still some concern from Spurrier, and understandably so. Our score 21 to 10. Now let's take you to Adam Zucker in our studio in New York. Adam? Our score at halftime, 21 to 10. South Carolina with the lead over Arkansas, and Marty Snyder is downstairs live with John L. Smith of the Razorbacks.
Well, John, if your kids want to win this game, what do they need to do better in this half?
Well, we're going to come out and play with that effort that we played with to begin with. We can't do the mental mistakes. We had 3 crucial mistakes on the defensive side that just young mistakes, and part of it's our fault as coaches, and putting them in a bad situation or two. But we have to play better there mentally, and we can't afford to get the ball down the field all the way and fumble it.
We've seen Tyler hobbling. What's bothering him?
He's okay. We have to do a better job protecting him, though. All
right. There you go, Tim.
I think Coach Smith summed it up, Steve Berline. It's been a game of opportunities, both made and missed.
Exactly, and one team has taken advantage, South Carolina. Arkansas not done a great job taking advantage of opportunities. Twice down in the red zone deep. First time down there, Dennis Johnson trying to fight for the extra yard. Get the first down, the ball comes out. South Carolina recovers. No points. Next time, they get a chance down there, 3rd and goal at the 5, and South Carolina makes a good play to keep Colby Hamilton from scoring. On the other side, Arkansas has busted coverage a couple of times, and South Carolina has made it pay. The first one right there, Gerald Adams with a big touchdown, and then the last one, Bruce Ellington with a big touchdown to put the Gamecocks up 21 to 10.
Statistically, you look at the game, and short of those mishaps that John L. Smith was discussing, total yards just 1 yard apart. The conversions a little better for South Carolina. The red zone efficiency or inefficiency, really the catalyst for South Carolina to have the lead as they do. Big plays everywhere. 10 pass completions are better than 20 yards for each team with 8 different receivers.
Do you remember our conversation with Steve Spurrier yesterday where he said this is an Arkansas defense that has been getting better and better, but he said, but people have made some big plays in the passing game on them. That's where we're going to have to make some plays. He said you can't count on it, but you can sure as heck try to take advantage when they bust the coverage. And sure enough, they've paid for it. They've made Arkansas paid for it the 2 times that they have.
The use of the tight end, especially early in the game, whether it was Cunningham or the touchdown to Gerald Adams. The loss of Alonzo Highsmith, Canarius Wright, and most recently Terrell Williams being suspended this past week have really hurt this Arkansas team. Really the confluence of bad breaks with injuries to go along with the unrest at the beginning of the season.
But linebackers are so key to a defense. When you've got inexperience there, it really does show up.
And the kick comes down to Ellington, and he'll take a knee. Gamecocks will have the ball at the 25-yard line. As you look at the possessions in the first half, for South Carolina.
Well, as Steve Spurrier said as he's going in, only 5 possessions in the first half. But look at that. 3 drives of 70 yards or more, all of them resulting in touchdowns. That's the key. When you get a chance to find pay dirt, you got to take advantage, especially in a big game like this. And South Carolina has done that.
Well, the guy that we've not heard a thing from, really, in this South Carolina offense to this point is Ace Sanders.
Yes, and you know, we asked Connor Shaw who his go-to guy was. He said, without hesitation, Ace Sanders. So they'll find a way to work him into the ballgame, I'm sure.
Quick flanker screen to Ellington. He's out ahead for a first down to the 38-yard line. 13-yard pickup.
But Timmy, as we said earlier as well, that this is a team that does not have a true go-to guy. I believe they've got 4 wide receivers over 20 catches. So any one day could be any one player standing out.
Miles trying to cut back run into Chris Smith. Well, we touched on Ellington being a point guard. He does play some basketball. Frank Martin can't wait to have him a standout on the school's team. In 2 seasons with the Gamecocks, he's averaged 12 points, 3 assists per game. He's the second leading returning scorer and will play under new head coach Frank Martin. Ellington expected to rejoin the basketball team right after the football season. 99 yards for him today, all told, of offense. On second down, Shaw looking for, guess who? Ace Sanders. Right into Arkansas territory at the 48-yard line. That's a 15-yard pitch and catch.
Asking you shall receive. You asked about Ace Sanders, and there he is, Timmy, right away. And it's great that Connor Shaw has so many weapons at his disposal, and he's going to make a defense play on us, no doubt.
On first down, Miles. Nice read on the part of Kenny Miles to take it to the outside. That was not designed to go in that direction. He manages 7 on it. Both of Peters, the freshman, made the stop.
Timmy, this is a huge drive for the Arkansas defense. Now, you can say what you want about inexperience. If they want to stay in this ball game, they cannot let South Carolina score a touchdown on this drive. Even a field goal, makes it a 14-point game. You just don't want this game to get out of control early in the third quarter.
Kenny Miles almost popped it. That could have gone the distance. Flowers made the stop.
Well, this is this could have been taken to the house. You're going to see the play come right here between the guard and the tackle. Good push. It opens up a nice seam for Kenny Miles to get through right there. Look at that. Now, that's a huge hole. I mean, I think I could probably get through that one myself. I'm not sure about you, Timmy, but I know I could. And Kenny Miles, I'm surprised he tripped because he could have taken that all the way to the house.
Yeah, they caught Turner blitzing there. 1st and 10 with the ball at the 30 of the Razorbacks. Shaw looking for Sanders, right on cue. Incomplete.
Intended for Ace Sanders.
Ball hung up in the air just a little. Rasner got back there to break it up.
Well, this is a mismatch. Rasner, who's a safety linebacker combo against the fastest guy on South Carolina. That's a mismatch and a mistake by the Arkansas defense. There's no way anybody other than a corner should ever be matched up on Ace Sanders with that kind of speed. And Connor Shaw knows he had a great opportunity right there. Sanders just didn't come down with it.
Yeah, he should have caught that. 2nd and 10. Blitz. Rasner coming off the edge. Shaw got away. And discretion sometimes a better part of valor. He'll duck under at the 28-yard line, a gain of 2.
One of the keys to be a good defensive player is to be aggressive but under control. Right there, Bo Rasner was so excited to put the blindside hit on Connor Shaw that he got out of control. He didn't break down, make the good solid hit. I mean, that's a big play opportunity that you've got to cash in at this point in the ballgame. Instead, it ends up being a positive play for South Carolina.
3rd down and 8 coming up. Ellington is split to the top of the screen. Sanders in the slot up at the top. Fake the option pitch, and Connor Shaw is about 3 yards shy of the first down. Stopped at the 23-yard line. And he comes up limping.
Yes.
Favoring his left leg. Dylan Thompson, who had a couple of weeks off. He couldn't play because of a tricep muscle injury he had that he said he picked up in his sleep. Couldn't play in the Tennessee game. He would be the number 2 quarterback. As you see, Adam Yates setting up for a 41-yard field goal try. 7 of 10 on the season, as we mentioned earlier. Out of the hold of Seth Strickland, and it's right through the uprights. Gamecocks come up with 3 and open up a 2-touchdown cushion. 24-10 our scores. You look at the scoring drive to open the second half. 52 yards on 9 plays, culminating with the field goal. 24-10 our score. Nate Holmes is back deep.
And truly Arkansas lucky that South Carolina didn't come away with 7 points there. They gave up a couple of big play opportunities, and of course the drop touchdown opportunity for May Sanders could have been a three-score ball game.
Ace Sanders did catch his first pass of the day, and you're right, they've had an opportunity at another 4th touchdown, dropped it. Actually, that running play too by Miles was it was right there.
His feet.
Tyler Wilson will get it, and holding them to 3 was probably a moral victory of sorts. Time to cue the duck. Always a favorite part of every telecast. Which freshman finished highest in Heisman Trophy voting history? Think about that one. Tyler Wilson brings his team up to the 25-yard line. There's the pitch to Holmes. And Nate Holmes off the edge is dragged down at the 30 and markered down. I think we got a face mask or a horse collar, one or the other.
I think you're right.
DJ Swearinger had him wrapped up. Ken Williamson, our referee, will no doubt tack on the extra yardage here.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 12. The penalty is 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Bryson Williams, the guilty party.
Well, there's reason for these calls being made. We'll look at the awkward position it puts. It ends up putting Nate Holmes in right there. You can see the potential for a major injury right there. And unfortunately, it didn't happen on that play, but it's going to be called every time.
It really appeared to be Swearinger that was guilty of the horse collar before the hit by Williams. Herndon has really popped, and another marker comes down. That might be a helmet-to-helmet. Fans are going to really be upset. Swearinger, a big-time hitter, as you know. But if that is deemed helmet-to-helmet, and it may be, that'll be a personal foul to go along with it. Javante Herndon, the receiver.
Personal foul, defense number 36. Contact above the shoulders to defensive player. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
We're going to look at it at regular speed here, Steve.
Well, this is one of those, great job bouncing up by Herndon to get back up, but that perfectly played by South Carolina. Did they do it? That looked to me like it was a shoulder in the chest.
And to the shoulder pad. It was a jolting blow. And there's an interception. Taken away. South Carolina with the pick. DJ Swearinger all the way.
Well, that's how you make up for it, Tim, right there. A careless throw by Tyler Wilson, who does have a tendency to do that. He trusts his arm a lot more than he should sometimes.
What's that old saying? Don't get mad, get even.
Get even. They got more than even right there. DJ Swearinger perfectly timed that ball, and then there's no way Tyler Wilson's going to run him down in the open field.
We've got a flag down.
result of the play was a touchdown. After it was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 36, a penalty of 15 yards, has been forced to succeeding kickoff.
Fans don't like it but if he did throw the football into the stands, and that's not acceptable. That's going to be called at any level.
Well, this is a young man that is known as a hitter. Everyone around the conference knows it. You could argue that that was just a big hit, that it was not illegal. You could argue that point, but they are being extra careful, as everyone knows, with defenseless players. But he comes back converting from safety to corner and doing so for this game only by Lorenzo Ward. Part of the changes they made specifically for Tyler Wilson. And boy, did he step in and make him pay. The Gamecocks with 10 points in 39 seconds. Don't blink, because Swearinger will make you pay. The senior from Greenwood, South Carolina, takes the Gamecocks to a 3-touchdown cushion. Our score 31-10, and a event-filled few plays here for DJ Swearinger.
Well, he was involved in 2 significant plays back-to-back. Here's the big one right here. He's on the outside. He's going to bait Tyler Wilson into throwing this out. He times it perfectly and just picks it off clean, takes it back to the house. You can't play it any better than that. I think Tyler Wilson really thought that he had nothing but field in front of his receiver. Instead, he's looking at the heels of DJ Swearinger. And what significance of it is there? Well, the play before that, we talked about the big hit. It was a big hit, illegal, legal, protected the receiver. He was upset about it. He comes back, makes up for it with another big play. That's what the great ones do, Timmy. When they make a bad play or they get involved in a bad play, they find a way to come back and make a difference.
His second career interception return for a touchdown. You talk about into every play. He had the horse collar, right? Then he had the illegal hit. Then he has the pick and the unsportsmanlike for throwing the ball into the end zone.
That's right.
And here's the kick to Nate Holmes, and he's got to bring it out. And he was up to the 25-yard line. And this Razorbacks offense needs to stay on the field for a while. Wednesday on Survivor, after a shocking tribal council, the former Team Star has taken control. But with power comes a price. All new Survivor Wednesday, only CBS. Well, this crowd is into it now. Tyler Wilson was able to silence them for much of the first half. Let's see what he can do here. Dennis Johnson. Nothing. Bouncing out. Jadeveon Clowney will take him down 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, all the film we've ever seen of Jadeveon Clowney, I've never seen anybody from high school, and I've seen film of him in high school. I've seen film in college. I've never seen anybody get to the edge on him when he's not been double-teamed or pinned inside somehow. No one can get to the edge. His speed, he can close the gap so quickly. He just can't do it.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Looking for the tight end, Tate. Incomplete. Well, you touched on it. He was even running the football back in the day.
This guy, could you imagine 6'6", 250 running the ball? Look at these people. It's almost like they're getting out of the way. That's a 97-yard touchdown run, and there's another one right up the middle. I don't blame those guys for not wanting to stick their nose in there and tackle that.
South Point High School. On 3rd down, Wilson in trouble. His pass is caught by the tight end, Volsky. Boy, he threaded the needle there in a dangerous position, rolling to his left. That took some ability, didn't it? Shaq Wilson the stop.
It sure did, and it was a very risky throw again, but that's Tyler Wilson's mentality. This ball could have been picked off going the other way. It was Victor Hampton had a shot at it, just misjudged it, and Tyler Wilson made him pay.
Pick up a 22 and a first down for Arkansas. Look at that. 529 career completions, a school record, and they've had their share of great ones at Arkansas. The pass is overthrown for Herndon. Well, now let's go to Adam Zucker for the Heisman Watch presented by Nissan. All right, Adam. 2nd down here. And Manziel may push the freshman button for sure for the Downtown Athletic Club. As you see Jonathan Williams scamper. Lost the ball as he hit the turf, but it's recovered by Keon Hatcher, number 4. And a look at some other Heisman hopefuls. Kenyon Barner, obviously, off that most recent performance, has got to be considered. Colin Klein, will he be good to go against TCU? That's a big question. If he's not, and McCarron has another big day, I think he moves to the top of the list for a lot of people to go along with Manziel, and Teos had a very good season for the Irish. And A.J. McCarron and Manziel on display on CBS next. Johnson on the check down, takes it from Wilson. Stop. Forward play was marked at the 36-yard line. Swearinger holding on.
Think about McCarron. 9 games in the SEC, 19 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. To me, that's one of the most amazing statistics I've ever seen. To go that long without an interception is truly amazing.
I still think the emotion, the raw emotion at the end of that game last week was all about, though, the coach finally giving him the reins for that one drive when he had to throw it and convert it.
You could tell what it meant to him. You could see the emotion that he felt after completing that drive.
2nd and 5. Wilson, he's nicked up, but what a courageous quarterback he is. Swearinger with a shoestring tackle at the 29-yard line, a gain of 7. Cannot say enough about this young man.
Now, he's got a lot of fight in him. He's not going to quit. That's something that we've heard from every person that we've spoken to about Tyler Wilson, and he's got a lot of talent to go along with it.
Jonathan Williams cuts it back. What a great move. And he stopped at the 10. That was a stop on a dime cut that he made. Bryson Williams, the stop.
Well, this is a true freshman, Jonathan Williams. We expected to see a lot of Dennis Johnson. We have, but this series we're going to get in a featuring of Jonathan Williams, and I've been pretty darn impressed, to be honest with you. This kid, he ran for 150 yards, or actually caught 3 passes for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns earlier in the year against Kentucky. 74 and 70 yards on those touchdowns, so he's a big play guy for sure.
Another freshman you'll be hearing a lot of. Wilson with time. Gets it off to Hatcher, number 4, the freshman who has a touchdown catch today. Ahead for 3 yards. Jimmy LeGree, the stop. They've been down here a couple of times before and not been able to convert. Turned it over, had to settle for 3 once. Hatcher did catch the 1 touchdown of the day that Wilson has.
And you got Kobe Hamilton again at the top of your screen right up there.
Got a little cushion too, doesn't he?
He has a little cushion, but questions are going to double him.
Williams running the stretch. And he's run out of bounds by Devontae Holloman, who's been very active today playing that strong safety spot.
Yeah, Devontae Holloman really did a good job coming up supporting this. He was in what would be considered a quarters position by the safety, which means he's got run support if there's run his way. He's coming from his quarter deep position, and he's got to get up there and make that tackle right there. He anticipated it very well.
Let's take a look at the Verizon red zone. And you'll see Arkansas has had 3 possessions today, 1 touchdown, 1 field goal.
And it has not been an area of strength all year for this Arkansas ball club.
Wilson's pass to Hamilton will be stopped short at the 4-yard line. Shaq Wilson shadowing him all the way. And it looks as though they're going to take the points. Got to get something out of this, right? Plenty of football left to be played.
Well, it's a 3-possession game right now. You can make a case in going forward and make it a 2-possession game at that point, but
he has a 20-yarder, looking for a 21-yarder here is Hawker. Not many more efficient than him in college football. Timeout. South Carolina 31, Arkansas 13. Going to see our score. 31-13. The scoring drive, 71 yards, 12 plays. And Hawker with the 21-yard field goal. What did you think of the decision?
Well, if you ask me, Tim, I think he should have gone for it. 4th and 4. You're down 18 points still. It's still a 3-possession ball game. Your record is 4 and 5. You got to win 2 of your last 3 games to get bowl eligible. I think that situation, you score a touchdown, now it's a 2-possession ball game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason why he wouldn't go for it in that situation.
I think John L. probably just didn't want to put the game on the line there, feeling that if they don't get any points, that maybe.
Yeah, but the 3 points don't really help you there. I mean, you still got to score 3 times.
Listen, it's a wonderful point. Bruce Ellington is back deep, awaiting the kick. And on one hop, we'll bring it out. He's corralled at the 26-yard line. And let's cue the duck. And let's get the answer to our Aflac question, right? Which freshman finished highest in the Heisman Trophy voting? Adrian Peterson of Oklahoma back in 2004.
And what a year he's having. For the Minnesota Vikings, coming off that horrific knee injury of his own.
Johnny Manziel may push that a little bit. He could.
Yeah, you know what? Darn right he could.
Kenny Miles is the lone setback. Miles will take it, bounces it outside. And is run down. That was a really nice play by Trey Flowers, number 86. Here are the highest freshman finishers in Heisman history. Michael Vick, what a year he had in '99. All the way back to Clint Castleberry and Bobby Dodd, and almost to the Heisman era back at Georgia Tech, and Herschel Walker, of course. OU Herschel Walker back in 1980. Little tribute there to one of the all-time greats, Larry Munson. Mike Davis is now in the backfield. That's a quarterback draw all the way for Shaw. He's got it up to the 33-yard line. Crowd responding as Alfred Davis took him down, thinking maybe he had been horse-collared a bit. I think we do have a flag down.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle, defense number 51. 15-yard penalty, end of the run, automatic, first down.
Yeah, the 90,000 officials were right here at Williams-Brice.
Yeah, well, let's see. No doubt he was pulled down from behind.
Yep.
And, yeah, the hand was up there.
Aaron Jones was guilty. Razorbacks need a stop, or maybe even better yet, a takeaway here. Well, that's a marvelous play fake by the quarterback. Right up the gut goes Mike Davis, and that's another first down.
Well, Mike Davis almost breaks this one. If it's not for a touchdown-saving tackle right there at the top by Rohan Gaines, or at least slowed him down, that would have been a touchdown for Mike Davis. They're starting to find something in that running game.
South Carolina speeding up now. Arkansas's defense was not aligned that time. Let's go quickly to New York. Adams.
Sunbelt giving the SEC fits, Tim.
It's been a remarkable year for the Sun Belt Conference. Mark Hudspeth, the fine coach there with the Raging Cajuns. Mike Davis is stopped by Tevin Mitchell. It's been an amazing year for that conference. The Warhawks of ULM, of course, knocking off this Arkansas team. Everyone remembers that. That began the downward spiral for the season for the Hogs. Middle Tennessee State beat Georgia Tech earlier this year. Arkansas State's gotten hot of late. And Western Kentucky beat Kentucky. Of the non-automatic qualifying conferences, you could say that's been the hot league this year. On third down. Wide open is Anderson. Rory Anderson. Bust the move. Stopped by Otha Peters.
Well, again, victimizing the young linebacker, Otha Peters, number 5. You see him trail. He just got a step behind, took a bad angle. One thing a linebacker needs to learn, if you're not in great position, you've got to assume that ball's going to be completed. Give yourself an angle to make the play and at least make the tackle.
Davis bouncing off tacklers. Otha Peters will be credited with the stop. He gets it down to the 3-yard line.
Well, both these young linebackers, we talked to Paul Haynes about them as players. They really feel good about how these guys are going to develop into big-time football players. This experience will pay off for them down the road, but they were very, very leery about how today was going to go.
Davis remains in the backfield. They run the option, and it's right there for Davis. Touchdown.
We saw a little bit of everything on that drive, Timmy. You saw some great throws and runs by Connor Shaw. Mike Davis coming in, finishing it off with some big runs as well. That was a very well executed drive from start to finish.
Yates to tack on the extra point, and given what happened on that drive, I think your criticism of maybe not going for it on the other end a moment ago is warranted, especially given how the Gamecocks have been moving through this Arkansas defense.
Well, it's a risk-reward thing. I mean, if you go for it and score, you got a chance. Right now, we'll see what happens.
Here on CBS, and you look at our score, 38-13, the scoring drive, 8 plays, 74 yards. Davis culminates it with the 2-yard touchdown run. I'd say the head ball coach had a number of ball plays that really worked in that sequence.
Yeah, it seems like the more this game goes along, the more Steve Spurrier and staff are getting a really good grip on what Arkansas is doing defensively and where they can exploit them, and they're taking advantage of it every time.
Dennis Johnson back deep, awaiting the kick from Yates. This crowd has always loved its football, and they never really had this much success, but they've always had the support. Really unspoiled group, these fans in Columbia. Let's go down to Marty Snyder. Marty?
Well, Tim, South Carolina has the running game going, but certainly missing Marcus Lattimore today. And he can thank his running back coach, Everett Sands, for a little perspective, even though he's had a rough time lately. When Coach Sands was at the Citadel, he had a young man named Ricky Anderson as his running back. Check out Ricky Anderson's career injuries. That is 5, folks. 1 a year since his senior year in high school. Coach Sands went to the hospital this week, told Marcus about the story. He said, I've got to talk to this guy. They've talked a couple times this week. His message to Lattimore, you've had 2 injuries. You can come back from this, and you're way more talented than me anyway.
Wilson in some trouble, decides to dump it away. Always love hearing those stories about the Black Knights of the Ashley River, what they have always called themselves, the Citadel. Shaq Wilson providing the pressure that time, number 54, against Tyler Wilson.
Well, off of what Marty said, the one thing that we've gathered in our understanding of the person that Marcus Lattimore is, his fight is going to not be a question whatsoever. It's just a matter of whether he can come back and play.
Well, Lorenzo Ward was lobbying for and did get a late flag. Tyler Wilson is going to be tagged, it seems, with grounding here, not outside the box.
Grounding. Offense, number 8. The penalty will place the ball at the spotted foul, includes the loss of down. 2nd down.
Seemed like a legitimate call, but I think Tyler Wilson and John L. Smith are a little concerned that it took that long for the flag to come.
And that's my concern as well. It shouldn't take that long to talk through it. It might be the record for the longest I've ever seen, but I think it was the correct call. Yeah. He was in the pocket, and there was no receiver anywhere around.
2nd and 26. Boy, does Wilson need a Kobe Hamilton hookup at some point. Nothing doing for Dennis Johnson. Gamecocks really getting the job done. Kelsey Quarles, number 99.
The defense all day has been answering the bell, Timmy. Again, we see this fumble. That was, I think, one of the key plays, if not the key play of the game for Arkansas. And then another chance to score down in the red zone, batted away by South Carolina, and the big interception return by DJ Swearinger. That was kind of the nail in the coffin, if you ask me. And that's why this crowd is buzzing right now.
3rd and 27. Wilson's pass is tipped. Austin Tate, the intended receiver, incomplete.
Now, if you ask me, Timmy, right there, I think that very easily could have been called a penalty right there. That ball was obviously missed, incomplete to Austin Tate. And Akeem Auguste came in there and made a hit late. Had more than enough time to pull up and not deliver the blow.
Ace Sanders goes back to receive the oncoming punt from Dylan Breeding. Breeding's boot. But Sanders actually did call for a fair catch at the 48. Time to go above the line and see just who should be playing for the national championship of these undefeateds. What do you think, Steve?
Well, if I'm betting with my heart, there's no doubt where I'm going. Right here, you got to find a way to get the Fighting Irish in there. But I think the BCS has got it. This is that ultimate case for the +1 system, you know, which we could talk about till the cows come home. But the bottom line is I think all 4 of those teams are deserving, and it would be great to know undisputedly who is the national champion if all 4 of them in the season undefeated.
Well, it wouldn't matter to me if they were undefeated or all of them had a loss between now and the end of the year. 1 playing 4, 2 playing 3 is not a bad idea.
Right.
Davis off the right side, inside the 45 to the 43. We'll call it a gain of 4. Alfred Davis makes the stop, number 51. Take a look at the last 4 possessions for the Gamecocks. They have been very productive.
That is pretty impressive. No less than 6 plays per drive. All of them 50 yards or more, ending up in points. That's a good offensive football right there.
And an interception touchdown to go along with that to take command of this game in the 3rd quarter. Again, the late first half score was the key on that 4th down play by Spurrier when Shaw found Ellington. On 2nd and 6, Davis tripped up. Good penetration and a late flag coming in. Trey Flowers made the stop. Well, they'll check the marker. Only 32 seconds remaining in the 3rd.
There is no foul on the play. The formation was legal. Take it down.
That should indicate to you just how close they are to the letter of the law on the illegal formation call. Right there.
It's no doubt been they're paying an awful lot of attention to it.
I think they pay more attention to it in the Southeastern Conference than in any other league in America. And I think that's proof of it right there.
South Carolina's going to run down to the end of the quarter.
Yeah, why not? They have taken control of this game in the 3rd, and it started at the end of the 2nd. 38-13 our score. We'll return to Williams-Brice Stadium after this message and a word from your local CBS station. You're watching the Home Depot SEC on CBS. As we open the score by quarters, you see South Carolina leading at 38-13. Tim Brando along with Steve Berline. I think what we've determined here, along with LSU, this is a South Carolina team that's got a couple of losses, but may be deserving of a BCS Bowl opportunity if they can win out. They're good, really good.
I think they can play with anybody. If they're ready to play, they can show up and play with anybody. They had the bad showing against Florida. That's really the only bad showing. They had a dominating performance against Georgia earlier in the year. That 35-7 whooping they put on them was a pretty impressive stamp. That told me they can play with anybody.
The only thing really between them and an even bigger season is the schedule. I mean, they just had a murderous 3-week schedule with that game with Georgia, and then on the road at LSU and on the road with the matchup that they had with Florida. Third down and 8 as we open play here in the 4th quarter. Shaq pass, caught. That's Shaq Rowland. That's a first down. Let's go to New York for an update with Adam Zucker. Thanks, Adam. Here, the Gamecocks on the move again after Rowland, the freshman sensation from Lexington, South Carolina, with his first catch of the day. Davis with some misdirection takes it inside. Well, let's take a look at the standings in the SEC East. And again, victimized to some extent by schedule. Not everyone plays everyone. I think it's been well documented. Georgia did not have to play against LSU. But that's not their fault. You have to line up and beat who you have to play.
Well, the one fact is this win today, if South Carolina can hang on, it would be the second year in a row South Carolina's won 6 games in the SEC. Never been done before.
And been dominating the East.
They sure have.
The last 3 years, including the year they did represent the East in the SEC title game. As you see the sack of Connor Shaw. Green coming through. Jared Green, 57, the senior from Little Rock, Arkansas.
The one thing that John L. Smith was adamant about when talking about his team was the fact that this team has never once even remotely raised the white flag, thrown in the towel. They've fought hard each and every week despite all the turmoil this year, and he's very proud of that fact.
3rd down and 18 for Shaw. And he's got Shaq Rowland, the freshman, who was Mr. South Carolina football. They've gotten the last 3 from high school here to Columbia. Up at the top of the screen as Davis takes it right towards the edge. Inside the 20, knocked out of bounds at the 17 by Tevin Mitchell, number 8.
I think in this second half, the key has been the running game for South Carolina. They found a way to really get the field spread exactly like they wanted to give their running backs, Kenny Miles and Mike Davis, an opportunity to get up in the seams, really unobstructed up through those big seams and then up the field for big gains. It's really been fun to watch the way they designed this running game in the second half.
A very reliable back, Kenny Miles. That cutback ability that he has is outstanding, and certainly by committee, he and Davis have taken over for Lattimore quite well. And there is another pop by Jared Green at the line of scrimmage. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts.
Second and 14, at the 20.
Many to choose from for the head ball coach today. You know, we talked to him, and he said, I think I might do it about 3 or 4 more years. He's got a lot of family here. His grandson's playing high school ball. And, of course, he's got both sons working with him on his staff. He's really enjoying the twilight of his career here in Columbia. Shaw looking for the corner, and it's picked off. Tevin Mitchell. He was looking for Rory Anderson in the corner. 81, the intended receiver.
This is just Connor Shaw getting greedy. You know, I think if the game were more competitive at this point, I'm not justifying anything because this throw was a poor read and a poor decision. You cannot ever justify. I just think he got a little bit lazy.
Timeout. Arkansas will have it when we come back.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
South Carolina decided to take advantage of the young linebackers going to the tight end. Gerald Adams with the first touchdown, making it 7-0. Tyler Wilson with an answer to Keon Hatcher to tie the game. But then, on a designed run, Connor Shaw does the job. Then it was a field goal story for Hocker, closing to within 4. And then a big touchdown before the end of the half to Ellington to make it a 21-10 game. And the field goal to make it 24-10 to open by Yates. The answer coming here on the pick by Swearinger. His second interception return of the year for a touchdown. This one's 69 yards at a pivotal time in the game. Hocker with a controversial decision perhaps in taking the 3 there. And then South Carolina's return to sender on the option. Mike Davis scoring to make it a 38-13 game. 11:39 remaining in our game here. Jonathan Williams is the setback. And he gets it is ahead for 7. Ball comes out late. And Tyler Wilson there to get on top of it. Back at the 23-yard line.
Well, very heady play by Tyler Wilson right there. Still keeping his head in the ball game, realizing that, you know, he still expects himself to play at a standard, and his teammates, he happened to be in the right position to protect another disastrous play for Arkansas.
Second and 8. Wilson's pass is incomplete, thrown at the feet of Austin Tate. Next Saturday, get behind-the-scenes looks at Tennessee, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Boston College when Hyundai presents College Football Uncut Game Day. That's next Saturday right here on CBS Sports. I've known John L. Smith a long time, and he left his alma mater, Weber State, to take on this challenge back in April. And when Arkansas lost that opening game and also its quarterback to a concussion, it really began to spiral out of control. Williams on the swing pass, looking for a little help as he cuts against the grain. A lot of activity to maybe pick up a yard or two. And the SEC Western Division looks this way. Alabama, they take care of Texas A&M. Next on CBS, they have Atlanta in their sights. And the Aggies, along with Mississippi State and LSU, all in that log jam with 2 conference losses within the division. Ole Miss will be playing later today against Vanderbilt. One of the improved teams that we had a chance to see last week in a loss to Georgia. On 4th down, booted away by Breeding. Sanders without the fair catch the call for this time.
Surprise.
It's spun around a couple of times and is down at the 43-yard line. 44-yard boot, no return. Dylan Thompson making his first appearance. He has obviously spent some time at quarterback this year, backing up Connor Shaw.
As you said earlier in the telecast, Dylan Thompson came up with a mysterious tricep muscle strain that he says it happened in his sleep, and been confirmed. Just woke up with it.
And the handoff is to Mike Davis. And he's ahead to the 47-yard line. Pickup of 4. A nice day for Connor Shaw, no doubt about it, Steve.
Really solid day. Forget about the last interception. This game he had under control from the early parts. That big touchdown to Gerald Adams right there to open the score, and then did it with his feet on the nice quarterback draw. Showed he could scoot into the end zone, and then the big one to Bruce Ellington on the outside at the end of the first half. Caught Arkansas in a busted coverage and made him pay for it. Good solid day for Connor Shaw.
Again, the flanker screen going out to Shaq Rowland. And he's down to the 47-yard line of Arkansas. Let's get a quick update from New York. Adam Zucker. The Hoosiers were feeling good about themselves coming in under Kevin Wilson, the former offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. First down now for South Carolina with Thompson in at quarterback, handing to Davis, stopped at the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, this Dylan Thompson kid, you can tell by talking to Steve Spurrier, really likes him a lot, said he can really spin it. He had a chance to start earlier in the year against East Carolina. He ended up on that day pretty impressive, 21 of 37, 330 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just showing that he can step in and help out if Connor Shaw is not able to play. That makes the head coach feel pretty darn good about depth at the quarterback position.
I think he really believes that Dylan is better throwing the deep ball than Connor is, for sure.
Right. He just really likes the way he stands. The ball comes out of his hand up the field.
Second down on 11. And you see Davis ahead for a couple of yards. Well, just a reminder, time permitting, coming up, it's the Jeep postgame show. Adam and Spencer back in Studio 43. All of that time permitting, and boy, do I know what that's like. Yes, I've gone through those rundowns that have as they say, disappeared before my very eyes.
I'm glad you're not in your normal seat today. I'm glad you're in the seat next to me.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back with you. Thompson in the shotgun. You see that very decisive throw, and I think we may get a late. We do get a late flag on Tevin Mitchell. Pass intended for D.L. Moore. Mitchell seemed to have gotten there a little prematurely.
Yeah, good break on the ball by Tevin Mitchell.
Pass interference, defense number 8. The penalty will place the ball at the spot of the foul and includes an automatic first down.
And now Red Lobster presents today's scholar athlete, Adam Yates, the outstanding kicker, and international hospitality and tourism management. Now, you know he could be great on the leather chicken circuit. And Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the South Carolina General Scholarship Fund. You major in hospitality, you've got to be pretty good, right?
You
work in a room?
You would think.
On first down, Thompson going for the home run pitch. Incomplete. Into double coverage that time. Rohan Gaines was back there with Shaq Rowland. I think Steve wants to get the freshman unleashed. So much conversation about the freshman, Mr. South Carolina football, number 4.
You can tell that Steve Spurrier is very excited about this freshman, but he's waiting for him to have that breakout moment where it just kind of that light bulb goes off and he just says, you know what, I can do this.
He said, we've thrown him some balls, a couple of them gone off his helmet, off the shoulder pad. He's pretty good, though. Play fake is to Miles, and he takes it ahead to about the 35. No gain. And Green was there with a stop. Time winding down. Under 7 minutes remaining, and the anticipation of that mega matchup in Tuscaloosa between Alabama and Texas A&M. This could be one of those weekends where the entire college football season's axis tilts.
Well, I think Johnny Manziel is just young enough, just confident enough, just inexperienced enough to not be intimidated by that stage, and I think he's looking forward to it.
Thompson on the crossing pattern, incomplete. Pass was a little high for Rory Anderson. And let's get back to New York. Adam Zucker with another update. Adam Yates is going to try a very long field goal of 52 yards. And Michigan tying that game up against Northwestern. And it looked like it may be drawing, but not enough. Just wide to the right. He was working it, but not quite enough for Yates from 52. Timeout, 38-13 remains our score. (38-13) our score. South Carolina with the lead. 6:17 remaining, along with Marty Snyder and Steve Berline. Tim Brando here at Williams-Brice Stadium. After the missed field goal, the Razorbacks take over at their 35-yard line. And Wilson sends Dennis Johnson in motion and swings it out to him. Looking for a block. And is wrestled down at the 41, maybe the 42-yard line by Swearinger. Let's take a look at that Facebook question. And I've been around for a long time, Steve, but I'm just going to say that our audience really skews well in Alabama, right? Look at that. 82% of those voting say, yes, there will be an undefeated season for the guys from the Capstone, and only 18% say no.
A lot of Alabama voters, that's right, as you said. Pretty convincing, and I can't say that I blame them for feeling that way.
On second down, Johnson right up the middle to the 50. One other thing to mention, though, about that, and I have found this to be true through the years. Unlike any other conference, SEC fans, if they can't win it, they certainly hope their conference brethren do. And I think that's a lot of the fuel of that vote, too.
Well, I think it makes them feel good about if they did suffer a loss, at least it was to the best team in the country. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
They take a lot of pride in the power across the board in that Southeastern Conference.
Oh, what a beautiful pass, but it looks like Auguste came down with it. That thing stayed in the air a little longer than Tyler expected. And Akeem Auguste came down with the pick. That's as good as a punt in a lot of ways. But I think that one just got away from Tyler.
Well, I think as much as anything, too, at this point in the game, Tim, he's just trying to give his #1 playmaker, Kobe Hamilton, a chance to make the play. And you got to give South Carolina a lot of credit. Only 4 catches for Kobe Hamilton. That's a shutdown day on him.
It is. Gamecocks defense has stiffened. Let's take a look at the player of the game presented by Russell Athletic. And how about this for Bruce Ellington, huh?
Well, as you said, he's a 2-sport star. It has not affected him producing on the football field today. 5 catches, 104 yards, a big one. The long touchdown down the sideline at the end of the first half. This guy can do it all. He's a very gifted athlete. He showed up today. Connor Shaw deserves credit. Could have been the player of the game as well, but I think that touchdown pass in the first half, Bruce Ellington earned the award today.
He clearly was a go-to guy. Joshua Blue is in the backfield now for South Carolina, behind Dylan Thompson. There's 5 and change remaining in our game, and Blue's going to take the pitch. Little guy, 5'7" sophomore from Tatum, South Carolina. Byron Jones the stop. Here's a look at Bruce Ellington's day.
Well, he contributed big time in the first half when it mattered. That right there is the early part of the ballgame. Almost busted loose for a touchdown down the sideline, and then catching the screen pass. Blockers out in front of him. He knows what to do with the football. And then the big one, touchdown we spoke about, giving South Carolina that big halftime lead, 21-10.
Frank Martin would be proud of his point guard. On 2nd and 10. Blue. Ahead for almost 10 yards. Let's get back to New York. Adam Zucker with an update. 160 total yards in this half for South Carolina to just 97 for Arkansas. 3rd down, a yard to go for the Gamecocks. And behind the line of scrimmage that time, Blair Lowry is stopped from Emo, South Carolina. And Monday, Dave's all new with Bradley Cooper. Plus later this week, Alec Baldwin and the Good Wife star, Juliana Margulies. Followed by Craig Ferguson, only CBS. Tyler Hull will punt it away. Keontae Minor, number 15, is back deep for Arkansas. Standing around his 44-yard line. Low punt that angles to the sidelines and goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line. And now it's time for the play of the game, presented by Napa Auto Parts.
DJ Swearinger with a perfectly timed interception of Tyler Wilson. After a couple of plays that he was involved with, not so positive, DJ Swearinger comes back. The big interception, throws a football into the stands in celebration of the big play that really iced this ball game.
Tyler Wilson, after a 192-yard performance in the first half, just 45 yards and 2 interceptions in the second. Jonathan Williams, the safety valve, takes it out of the backfield and is ahead to the 48-yard line.
Well, I think what's happened, what's caught up with Tyler Wilson and his teammates, Kobe Hamilton is the only real threat on this offense that really scares the defense. And you got to give credit to Lorenzo Ward, the game plan he's put together to limit the throwing opportunities to Kobe Hamilton. And this is the guy that's had 23 catches in the last 2 games. He had a 300-yard game. He averages 10 receptions a game.
Nice move by Keon Hatcher after the catch. He's down at the 40-yard line. Bryson Williams the stop. John L. Smith, of course, along the sidelines for this season, but this season only. Contract for just 10 months. Jeff Long, the director of athletics at Arkansas, is in the midst of a nationwide search. We hope to have a chance to chat with him between now and that day after Thanksgiving game that we have here on CBS Sports. That pass incomplete, intended for Mikael McKay. A lot of speculation as to who that might be, although the one thing about this situation with John L. Smith only being the temporary head coach is that you have all this season to begin making your contacts, and Jeff Long has a little bit of an advantage over some of the other programs who are considering the possibility of making a change.
Well, and I think John L. Smith would have loved to have put a better foot forward this year and produce and be considered for that position. Whether or not he will remains to be seen. But you're right, it gives him plenty of time to find the right person for the job.
Jonathan Williams grabs it. Takes it inside the 35 to the 33. Akeem Auguste in to make the stop. A number of people believe that someone with Arkansas ties would be a legitimate candidate for the opportunity. But then again, they're just a couple of coaches away from having had an Arkansan as their head coach. Jonathan Williams ahead to about the 25-yard line. Our friend and now colleague at CBS Sports Network, Houston Nutt, was the longtime coach. Was a 3-time SEC Coach of the Year, twice at Arkansas. Got them to the SEC title game before Bobby Petrino came in and really took this program to new heights. Austin Tate with that reception. Remember, this is a program that was number 3 in the country not that long ago.
Exactly
the end
right.
of last season.
Exactly right. And the high hopes coming into this season were definitely validated. Just that 1-4 start and some of the key injuries and other issues that came up, too hard to overcome.
Especially to Wilson in the opening game. Williams inside the 10 to about the 8, but you really have to admire how this team has really not given up. This is it's mop-up duty, but they're still going after it here.
Well, it's a tribute to, I think, the leadership, what they've gotten from John L. Smith and the coaching staff, and also quarterback Tyler Wilson. He's got a lot of pride. This is his senior year, and he's not going to let his team quit on him. He wants to go out and at least fight.
Wilson's got a wide open receiver. He's caught for a touchdown. Demetrius Wilson, number 81. And Tyler Wilson with yet another touchdown pass.
This is a really nice job by Demetrius Wilson working the back of the end zone, and Tyler Wilson finally finding him in the back of the end zone. You see him moving to his right a little bit. Demetrius Wilson, big target in the back of the end zone, gave him a spot to put that football.
Well, both he and Keon Hatcher have their first receptions as touchdowns as Razorbacks this year. Hawker will try for the extra point. Timeout. 39 seconds remaining in this one. The South Carolina Gamecocks lead it by a score of 38-20. The first of 2 on CBS today. And what is Armed Services Week? We pay homage to all of those that have served our country all week long. 38-20 our score here. South Carolina with the lead, 39 ticks remaining. And waiting in the wings in Tuscaloosa, our pals Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson.
And waiting in the wings for South Carolina next week. two in-state rivals the next 2 weeks. Wofford College and then Clemson.
Yeah.
The big rival game to end the season. 2 more chances for South Carolina to stake their claim to a BCS ball game.
Looking, of course, for the onside kick here as John Henson is lining it up. Number 43, sophomore from Southlake, Texas. Looking for that very high third bounce. And the hands team is waiting for the Gamecocks. Well, it came a little bit late, but was a little short of the 10 yards. I think everyone was trying to play by the rules, but couldn't. The ball went straight up into the air and wouldn't come down. That reminded me a little bit of the onside that LSU thought they had when the kicker actually just got a bad bounce. The ball bounced right back into him. Alabama was fooled on that play.
Receivers at the spot of the touching. First down.
Yeah. So they'll have the ball going the other way.
Well, you know, that was a great illustration of the coaching job that Steve Spurrier and his staff do right there. That ball, those South Carolina players, you can always tell in an onside situation teams that are well coached, because those guys knew the ball had not gone 10 yards. They did not get anywhere near it. A lot of teams, sometimes guys will panic and try and jump on that ball. Yeah. No hesitation. None of those guys even got close to the football. Good job.
The Arkansas kids didn't want to touch it, but ultimately I think they felt like they had to.
Right.
Clock winding down. The Gamecocks are going to be, along with, as we mentioned, LSU, one of the top ranked in the BCS standings, 2 lost teams in the country. Without a chance to go to Atlanta, Georgia already in position for that for the 2nd consecutive year, even though the Gamecocks would have beaten the Bulldogs in the regular season. And Jacob Baker takes it again on what is the final play of the game. Head ball coach gets another win, looking to get an 11th win for the 2nd straight year. For Steve Berline and Marty Snyder, this is Tim Brando saying so long from Columbia. For once again, our final score, 38-20. Coming up next, it's game 2 of our doubleheader. Number 1, Alabama hosts Johnny Manziel and the 15th ranked Texas A&M Aggies. Vern, Gary, and Tracy will have that one for you. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the SEC Championship.